Oh, I gotta share this on the Facebook side of things. I forgot. All right, we finna go live. 3.
Head knocker, finna need a help. Heard it, felt it, booting up the nail shit. Dagger, cutting up the lessons. Keep a shield on me, it's an M&P West. Boom, bop, Brewster, rooftop. Big blue bowling in the city where it's too hot. Boom, bop, knee deep, too hot. Mind on script, got script. I'm a cool doc, hold up. This truth music, dagger in the shield, better get used to it. New shit, new skins, new wild, waited on God. God came in due time, zealous. For the law, I'm jealous. My God, our God, nothing you can tell is Christ. Waiting on the chariots, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Life's a little different when you active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. Life's a little different when you're active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. 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 Life's a little different when you active in the field.
On my shield, not a star, it's a lily. Rich up in heaven, but I'm still getting chilly. Bible on my hand, but I'm still told Billy. Niggas wanna stop it, they gon' have to come and kill me. And I'm a west side nigga, and I get it cracking. I get to waving arms like a beauty pageant. I got the faith in the works, I don't do the acting. Big Sakari on the chest, niggas know the fact.
You can look me in my eyes and tell I'm tested. I tell the truth and not only, I'm never gonna stretch it. Cause I don't got $1 million, they missing the message. I think God made it out, those partisan message. I really grew up in the war, told me to be a soldier. Suffering from PTSD, asking God for closure. All my prayers go to Yahweh, I don't say Jehovah. I'm trying to walk in Christ's ways while them niggas be posers.
Life's a little different when you active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. Life's a little different when you active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Life's a little different when you active in the field.
10 toes, put in work for a Mashiach. Praying niggas got you in the picture like a Basquiat. Close your eyes, when you look, they just copy out. Yeah, they ain't but niggas, they copy out. Niggas say they hit the field and they run plays. That's big cap like your granny on Sunday. To the kingdom, one door, yes, one way. Don't turn them down for these laws, we gon' run fade. Blue script, gold fringe, and the gold rollie. Gold slogan, 3 B's on my bruise, know me. The word got these demons mad, close fists like Arthur. Cause I go against the grain, I'm a bad heart. You see the crimson and gold, nigga. True nation run the west, we in control, nigga. TNC dagger man, shit is real. Wartime, we here to kill with the dagger man shit.
Life's a little different when you active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. Life's a little different when you active in the field. Keep the dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Dagger in the shield. That dagger in the shield. Life's a little different when you active in the field.
Shalom, 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 y'all. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And on the Clubhouse side, man, make sure y'all ping.
Ain't rockin' with no false prophets. Don't know what that feel like. Gon' wanna hear about your dream. No Martin Luther King, boy, this is real life. You came in like a savior, like you had a favor. My people still die. I can hear the pain and they still cry. They still sighing, you still alive. Ain't rockin' with no false prophets. You don't know what that feel like. Don't wanna hear about your dream. No Martin Luther King, boy, this is real life. You came in like a savior, like you had a favor. My people still die. I hear the pain and they still cry. They still sighing, you still alive.
It's a lot of bloodthirsty wolves rapping in the prey wearing sheets clothed. And I don't like sticks, keep my grass cut so low you can't emote. Boy, your ears itching, you a hypocrite. What you doing when the book closed? Woe to the pastor that scattered the chosen, causing division, we gotta expose it. My people, they out here starving, you at the ATM making the deposits. Some of these niggas worse than the bridges and rivers on which they promise. Do anything for the clout, praising your house shot out of your mouth, but lead us to slaughter like space in the auction. You traded your life in the field for a house. In the latter days, there'll be many that are going to pop in the face, giving heed to seducing spirits, doctrines of devils falling away. And in that day, many shall say, have we not prophesied in that name? But all those that loathe our law, the same will know it after death through pain. Like damn, you was just laying on Esau. Now you all hell banging on these laws. What's up with your doctrine? I thought you was solid, my nigga. I never thought you was a fall. I know we all gotta answer to God. Yeah, how wish I know that I'm bearing my cross. But any man teaching, don't keep the commandments. At least up in heaven, I'm praying for y'all.
False prophets, don't know what that feel like. Don't wanna hear about your dream, don't wanna hear what this is real life. You can't like the savior, like you had a favor. My people still die, I can hear the pain and they still cry, they still sighing, you still lying. Ain't running with no false.
It's Friday night, and you know what time it is. It's another episode of Inside the Nation Radio with your host, Abaya Adanaya. Hit that subscribe and like button. It's showtime.
Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Hey, so y'all see who we got with us right now, right? That's Captain Tazaryach, for those who don't know. The reason I need to introduce him like that, his face looking like that, because he thought Cross the Line Radio had all the hottest music. And he just heard we just been playing, and he can't take it. He don't know what's going on right now. Shalom, Cap, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, shalom, Abaya. I appreciate it, man. What's going on, man? What's the other brother's name? I didn't get his name before we started.
Rick Judah. I was just about to slide to my big arm.
Okay. Hey, shalom, Rick. What's going on, brother? How you doing as well? Appreciate y'all having me on here.
I'm doing all right. Shalom to everybody. Peace be with y'all. Grace and peace to the 12.
Brother got on a Pacers shirt, man. I don't know what's wrong with him. He always got to do something out of the way. He got a Pacers shirt on. I don't know why we're going to represent the Pacers today, man.
Indiana. Told. That's why. We went to the finals. Should have won. Hey, Tyrese, torn Achilles, man. Hey. And the Thunder's cold.
Hey, man. Got to pay them refs a little more. Can't be underpaying the refs. Y'all know how it go. Can't be underpaying no referees, boy. Hey, Cap, man. Hey, it's been a minute since the last time you've been on here. Last time I think you was here. It was Holloway, Pastor Holloway. When you were supposed to it was supposed to be a debate with you and G-Con, LeRon Campbell, but it turned into a teaching lesson. I can't remember. You remember that? It turned into a lesson instead of a debate, and I was over here all weirded out, like, man, what? I'm like, straight face.
It turned into like you said, a teaching lesson. I thought it was fire.
If he catch this episode, he ain't gonna like that we brought that out. But it is what it is. It turned into
and what's crazy is a lot of people said that, like, it went from debate to class. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's what happened. Yeah,
that's what that was.
Yeah, you got to give him credit, because LeRon usually he'll argue you down, but he stopped arguing and just started asking questions. Okay, well, what do you think about that? Like, it was crazy.
I've never seen him do that ever before, so I gotta give him credit for that. That took some humbleness and humility or whatnot. But yeah,
definitely.
Hey, so first and foremost, man, I need to back myself up, man, to give all praises to the Most High God, man, just for allowing us to be here another Friday night. Hey, shout out to the Clubhouse side. Shout out to the mods on Clubhouse. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me see who in the chat over here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see a few mods. Hey, man, y'all hit that share button. Hit that share button. Let everybody know we live. I actually shared it late, so I forgot to put that up there earlier. But, everybody's slowly pulling in. But, Cap, man, I want to jump right into it, because we ain't going to keep you long tonight. I know you probably got something you need to get to, but we got some things we want to talk about. And I definitely want to get your take on a lot of things that's been popping off in Israel lately. Hey, would you agree? Would both of y'all agree? Would y'all say that 2025 was different? 2025 was crazy.
Yeah, I think 2025 is I call this like the reckoning year for Israel. And I don't think Israel better smarten up, because 2025 showed a lot of respect to persons, a lot of distrust, a lot of self-evaluation needs to go on in Israel, because it seemed like, I'm gonna tell you, if Israel is honest, Israel is beginning to put up the same wall that we say the Christian church puts up about their leadership and about their people. Whenever
oh, that was too loud. That was too loud. My bad. I had to drop a bomb. I had to turn it down a little bit though. But facts. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, because when we talk about the Christian church, when we talk about hip hop, even look at the Diddy documentary. When you watch that Diddy documentary, you realize and you're seeing that everybody knew what Diddy was doing. Nobody said nothing. And it actually took the white man locking him up for whatever reason for him to stop. And then people still defend Diddy. People still feel like 50 Cent went too far exposing him. When you talk about the Christian church,
what?
Yeah, you got some people saying, like Umar Johnson said 50 Cent went too far. But Umar Johnson is the same man that said that tried to defend R. Kelly, tried to defend Bill Cosby. And so when you transition over to the church, we saw Eddie Long say close the doors. The church defended him. We saw another pastor who, the woman, when she gave the money, she was in the wrong line, and he was like, this ain't the right line to be in. It was chastising her publicly. They defended her. And when you look at the things that's going on in the Israelite community, and when you look at the things that's going on in the Israelite community, everybody should understand now why ISUBK say we're not affiliated with any other group. Any other group is any Israelite group, Christian group, whatever. But just look at what is happening. Sakari gone. It's gone. The brothers that was in there have decimated, went and done something else. You hear of other groups, like I made a big stink about that group that had a woman pretend to be a man come to their tent, come to their Feast of Tabernacles, and then to check her out, they pull her under a tree and say, "Whip your rod out." and then she sends them a video of her whipping the rod out, and they circulating that around to other people to check out to see if the rod is real or not.
What?
Abaya.
So you're not joking. You this really
No,
happened.
I'm not joking. This really happened. She sent them a video of her pulling a rod out of her boxer drawers to show them that she had a male body part. And they was passing that around. They asked me if I wanted it. I said, hell no, I don't. I am not about to be a part of the rod chain. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. And so then they went as far as to send this woman to get a, what is it called? It's called a gender test, like where they go test to see if she was born a man or a woman. They put this woman through all this torment to know that she was just a woman. And the crazy part, and this all started from her being able to go on Clubhouse, make her voice sound like a man's voice, talk about the Bible, and people just believed it. People just believed that this woman, who was clearly a woman when you look at her, was a man, taught the Bible so well, brothers invited her to the group when they found out she was a woman, and she brought a woman, and the crazy part about it, she brought a woman with her.
Wait, hold on, Kat. Hold on. She was not, because we covered this when it happened, but we really ain't go. We just try to, we need to call out what need to be called out, in Israel. So you telling me that she was actually teaching, leading, like as. So
I don't want to say leading.
No.
Yeah, I ain't saying, I don't want to say leading, but she was teaching on Clubhouse. She was reading scriptures on Clubhouse as a man. They believed that she was a man. So much so they invited her to their Feast of Tabernacles. She brings a woman with her because she's gay. So they had lesbians at their tabernacles. And all of this transpired on Clubhouse. Right. And all of this transpired on Clubhouse. And my point of saying the reckoning for Israel is that Israel is, and then after all that gets exposed, that same group still gets to go and be men of the Most High. There's no self-evaluation. There's no elder, as they would call it. There's no sitting down to relearn how to be whatever it is you think you got to be an Israelite. You're just allowed to go and keep teaching. When you go to what happened with Guerrilla Hebrew, when we find out what happened with Guerrilla Hebrew, there's nobody that talked about it more than me. And I always tell people this is why I talked about Guerrilla Hebrew as much, and even he respected it, is because if I didn't, I would be like what we say the Christian church is with Eddie Longs, with all of them, where they get defended because everybody know me and Guerrilla Hebrew's relationship was cool. We didn't have no issues at all. Any issue we had, I had to just sit down. This kind of covers two things. I had invited IUIC and Sakari to my Atlanta school. This was back in 2023, I believe. In 2023, I invited them to my school so we can work out whatever differences that they had with the school, with ISUBK. Guerrilla Hebrew came, apologized for the things that he said about Commander Jenny Hanna. And so we was so everybody knew that, we was cool. So when that happens, it's like, okay, is Cap gonna protect Guerrilla or is Cap gonna condemn Guerrilla? And I condemned him because that's what we're supposed to do. But people wanted him to be able to still be the chief high priest. So I don't like Israel. Israel has a horrible Israel. If we don't get it together, we're no different than the Christian church. There's nobody that sits down. And I want to highlight a brother, Priest Daniel Allah from Lions of Israel, right? A lot of people don't know this. I don't think he's ever said it, but I always tell him, whenever you hear me talk about Israelites, I'm never talking about him. I told him this since 2014. Anytime you hear me say Israelite this, Israelite that. And the reason why I say that about him is because he's a brother that has earned that respect from me since I've known him. Never heard nothing or anything. But I think the Israelite nation disrespects the shit out of Priest Daniel Allah. I think Daniel Allah, all these Israelites that start these groups and everything like that, they always say, well, Daniel Allah is my elder, Daniel Allah is my elder. And I think they all are liars. All of them are liars. Because when I talk to Daniel Allah, or when thing goes wrong, and you'll hear Daniel Allah said, I told him not to do it. They didn't listen to me. He cannot be an elder. There's no point, like I got generals and captains over me. There's no point of having a captain or general over me if they tell me something and then I don't listen to them. And nobody listens to the advice of Priest Daniel Allah. It's to the point I wish Priest Daniel Allah would stop. And I'm talking about everybody, all of the different camps, if y'all want to call them that, or schools or congregations, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, that have rejected the counsel of Priest Daniel Allah. What is the point? And I'm saying that to say, people could say they don't like ISUBK and our stance. Well, what is the reason you don't like Priest Daniel Allah and his stance? Because Priest Daniel Allah is in support of you building whatever it is that you want to build. I'm not. I don't want you to build. I don't want you to build nothing. I would rather you build it under a strict order. Daniel Allah is the opposite. So you're kind of getting what you want, where you have somebody that comes from the old school, as they're looking for somebody to come from the old school. You got Priest Daniel Allah. Somebody that knows some of the old way, you got Priest Daniel Allah. Somebody that can advise you, you got Priest Daniel Allah. But you don't listen to what he says when it counts. You only listen to what he says when it helps your side. So Israel is learning, and even when you go back with the Sakaris, right? I want to shout out Zara. I think she came up with this term. It's called the Assover. When they had that Assover, right? House of David, another group of men that I respect. If I can give a side story, when I went to Israel, House of David happened to be there the same time that I was in Israel. And so they reached out to me. They was like, Cap, have you ever seen this part of Israel? I said, I ain't never been to Israel. I was staying in Ashkelon in Israel. I can't remember where they were staying. I can't remember exactly Telerad areas where they were staying at. And those men drove 90 minutes to come and get me, just to drive 90 minutes back to take me to different sites. So when y'all see me see Sodom and Gomorrah, the Dead Sea, Mount Olives, stuff like that, Barak, Mathathawa, and the other gentleman that was with him, they're the ones that brought me there. They established something called Masharala. I believe that's how you say it, right? And Masharala is something that they wanted all the groups to come together so they could work out issues, work out problems. When Passover happened, now Sakarian was a part of that. When the Passover happens and they say, hey, you got to sit down and regroup, they left it. So when people talk about ISBK and our stance and y'all want something that's more congruent to us coming together, what we're finding out is that Israel only wants to come together if they can do what they want. But if you ever restrict them and tell them what to do, they're just going to break off from you, do what they want. And then we see the ramifications of them doing what they want. This is a horrible year for that Israelite community.
It is. Let me ask you something real quick. Along those lines. All right. And that's actually a fair point. Those are extremely fair points, because we did see that. We seen, all right, you tried to be corrected, you left and went over here. You said something earlier though. You say even Guerrilla Hebrew respected when you called him out. So y'all had that conversation where he was like, I understand what you was doing, because in reality in Israel, that's Torah. We're supposed to call out what we see as wickedness or going against Torah. So he told you that, like I respect the fact that, or y'all came to the understanding that he was respecting the fact that you was calling him out.
Yeah, not in the beginning, of course, but this was like when did I get asked by vocab? So this was like, what's this, December? So this might have been like October or November, as we was exchanging text messages when vocab asked me about that whole would I debate the Genesis cats. Guerrilla had hit me up and told me that they had contacted him too. So as we're conversing over that, that's when I said to him directly, I said I had to do that. And, he responded and understood it. So it wasn't an oral conversation. It was a text conversation.
Text. Okay. Yeah, okay. No, I can see that. You said about, because you're making a point about how people, now, I made a Facebook post. I forgot what post it was exactly. It may have been the flyer I made. I can't remember what it was exactly. No, I actually think it was before that. But you were referenced, and that was a particular brother. He does follow the platform, been a good brother, that I know, that supports a lot. But hey, look, Cap, it might be an understatement to say you his least favorite person. You know what I mean? And one of the reasons you are his least favorite person, I'm just gonna say ISUPK are his least favorite people, is because of that statement when you say, well, we're not a part of any other, we're not affiliated, right? And the statement that's been made by, if you're not with ISPK, you're not in the truth, right? Or if you're not with us, what is that truth like you're talking about? Because I think, I'm gonna tell you, and I think we've already talked about it already, about my thoughts and my outlook on it. But I'm gonna tell you that I don't think a lot of people look at it from different angles. So what is that truth? And maybe you can help brothers to understand what you saying truly when you say that, or ISPK say that.
Gotcha. I think like if you take this year, who's going to say that they're affiliated with Sakari? Nobody. For those that take the position of salvation is only for Israel, who's going to take that position now with Genesis? Genesis has changed their position. So when we say, if you're not in ISBK, you're not in the truth. If you just take this year, a lot of truth have changed for Israelites that at one time had a different form of truth to now having another form of truth. And so then it begs the question, how long did they have this truth? Which truth was their truth? Will this truth change? That's with anybody. I'm just using them as an example because they're current. So for us, we have not changed the truth. Salvation is for Israel, the kingdom of heaven, whatever the subjects you want to talk about it. That's one side of it. Another side is the origin of why we started saying that. And I always bring this out when GMS, another group that people call elders who openly teach that in the kingdom of heaven, if they grape your daughter, I got shekels for you.
Yeah.
If I grape your daughter, here's 40 shekels. I just graped your daughter against the will. Here's shekels for you. And people are called them elders. That's how the term, we are not affiliated with no other group started because of them teaching that, getting into an argument with these white women on camera and telling them white women when they get in the kingdom, they're going to break them in the kingdom. And when we saw that video, people started coming to us asking us, y'all teach that? Y'all teach that? And so we never had a stance that kind of separated us from that. So that stance of, if you're not an ISUBK, you're not in the truth, started because of that, because we wanted to be separated from everybody, not just Israelites. That goes for Israelites, Christians. So now from that moment going forward, because I think we started saying that in 2012, from that moment going forward, if anything ever transpired in Israel or anything ever transpired where they could try to blame it on Israelites, we could say, well, we've been saying we're not affiliated. That's the origin of why we say that. Now, of course, when people hear that, they get in their feelings. But you made a point that I don't want to steal from you. But you made a point, so I want to give you credit for making a point. What ISUBK says about Israelites is what Israelites say about everybody else that's not following their belief. They'll say Christians not gonna make it, Muslims not gonna make it, these people not gonna make it. I don't know why people get it. If somebody told me, Cap, you're not in the truth, it wouldn't even mean anything to me. Like ISUBK shouldn't bother people that much when we say if you're not in the truth. The only way I think it bothers you is if maybe you question if you're in the truth or not. Because if you feel you have the truth, why does what we say about it matter? Especially after we give you the explanation. Because now the question that I would have for them, Abaya, is GMS that teaches that you can grape a woman, you're going to sleep with 12-year-old girls. Is that the truth?
Hey, listen, Cap. Let me reply, and Rick, if you want to jump in. But listen, so my former career. I got a little resume. United States Navy. I done been a paramedic. Done worked in the jail, law enforcement, tactically trained. Did all that, right? Now, each level that I'm going up, and I finally got to the law enforcement level. So they do like interviews. They interview your family. They want to know your background. They want to know everything about you, right? And so at the time, I had on my Facebook page from Jerusalem. Right? I'm from Jerusalem. And okay, so they started researching why I got from Jerusalem. And I thought you said you was from South Florida, right? Nah, but you saying you from Jerusalem. So when they looked into it, so like I said, they interview your family. Now check this out. While interviewing my family, my mom called me and she was a little upset about some of the questions they were asking her, right? And some of those questions were about children. If you get where I'm going, right? Has he ever been like this way with children? And I was mind blown. And so when I did my first, on my way to the end of the hiring phase, a long hiring phase, background, no exaggeration. My background packet was this thick, right? It was this thick. When they asked me to come back in, man, that thing seemed like it was this thick, right? I'm like, where y'all got this from? But what they did was start researching Israelites. And when they started researching Israelites, out of all the groups that they researched, guess who it was? But what you just said. And that's why they was asking those questions. And at that point, I had to disassociate myself. Like, no. It ain't not like that. And I had to, turn like, hey, listen, there are some radicals in every religion you go into. Hey, the Klan said they got to kill black people in the name of Jesus. Are you part of the Klan? No. And they're like, oh, okay, we get what you're saying. Like, but I say that back to your point, because that's the first time I ever heard why y'all started saying that. And to that point, and we're going to get people to, so we're going to open up the phone lines if y'all want to call in, quick question, quick comment, say what up, whatever the case may be, and come up to the stage, whatever. But to that point, I can't say that's not fair. I can't say that's not right. And real quick, I'm going to land and I pass the mic to Rick if you want to jump here too. What Kat was talking about earlier when he said the point that I made, I started looking at it differently because I started asking myself, is that any different that I tell my Christian brothers and sisters, family, cousins, uncles, whatever? Like, you ain't getting in the kingdom. Now, I know some people going to still disagree with that, they're gonna be like, well, we saying it based off what's the Bible actually say, but you're still saying off what you believe and what you understand to be true. You're still telling them that they're not getting into the kingdom. I'm like, well, that's kind of the same exact thing that y'all be hating on the UPK for. And so that's what made me that realization start coming. I started thinking about it from that angle. If y'all was confused on what he was saying earlier.
And
but
if I could, before you go, Rick, I just
never
want
been something I've been offended by. I've never really took it like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they say that. I can't believe that. I mean, at first it is kind of like, it's a shock. Everything is a shock, especially when you first coming to truth. When I first heard, Caucasians were the devil, I was like, oh wow, but then it's like, well, okay, I'll go ahead and hear it out. And that's kind of what it is. So when I first came in, of course, I made no secret. I said, I came in with IUIC. Everything that's being taught there, they're saying, if you're not here, you're not in the truth. They don't say it, but they say it. So if you're getting the teachings, you're getting understanding, they're trying to get everybody under that umbrella, believing the same way, keeping the commandments the same way. Of course, you're going to believe that. It doesn't even make sense. Kind of like the same thing when I said, like, hey, and I don't take that back. And when I said, hey, if you ain't congregating, if you ain't got a fellowship, a group of believers you with, you not in the truth. You ain't keeping the commandments. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna make it. And it is what it is. Now, does that mean that it has to be a named camp? No, but if you ain't got a group of people you with, same thing. You have to actually stand on what you believe. And if you don't stand on what you believe, then how can you say you believe it? You got to actually draw a line. It's called boundaries, barriers. If you ain't got barriers, then what you saying, does it really stand or is it just, lip service?
Facts. Real quick, Cat, before you jump back in there.
Yeah, no
hey,
problem.
listen, there's 202 people watching. We got 53 likes. Like, listen, I tell y'all this every week. I was raised in the South. Before we go in somebody's house, we wipe our foot off on the rug. And how you gonna do that on the platform online is by hitting that like button. Wipe your foot off on the rug. Show respect when you come in. It's free. You don't even have to pay for it. Come on, man. It's free. If you're on the Clubhouse side, hey, support the platform. Ping, ping, ping. Let's get involved in the conversation. Because I think there's some good points that's being raised. Everybody like to sit back and be mad at him. Well, he just made some great points. We about to open the phone lines here shortly. I would love to hear somebody address those points again, because that's my first time hearing the history behind why it's being said. But go ahead, Kat, you got it.
Well, and I wanted to clear up something else. Brother, one of the brothers in our school was debating some off-brand Sakari group that changed their name, and I changed my name too. But one of the things he said, I just want to make sure it's clear. We don't teach that you won't make it to the kingdom if you're not an ISUPK. That's not something that we teach. And that's why I wanted to explain what we mean when we say you're not in the truth. So I hope everybody understands that. But we do not teach that you won't make it into the kingdom unless you're an ISUPK. We don't teach that. I don't know if when the brother was in the middle of the battle, he just wanted to stomp him out like that. But we don't, that's not a teaching that we actually teach. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. I want to be able to clear that up.
I think that's literally what everybody believes. You saying if I'm not an ISUPK, then we can't get into the kingdom. It's basically
no, that's not what we're saying. You know what that reminds me of, man? I remember when I first came on Clubhouse, and two of my favorite sisters of all time on Clubhouse is Yakira and Humble Lily, right? And I remember when I came on there, and as you know, we build relationships and stuff like that. They told me that brothers was teaching that a single sister can't make it into the kingdom unless they're married to a man. And that's what that kind of reminded me of. And I had to actually go and defend those two sisters against brothers that was teaching that madness. So I just wanted to make sure that part was clear. When we're saying you're not in the truth, that's what we mean. As far as whether you're making it in the kingdom or not, that's up to the Most High. I just wanted that to go on the record.
Real quick. The question was, I know you said, so you're basically saying that in Romans 14, James 4, where it kind of talks about like, if, as long as every knee shall bow, as long as the person's sincere, it is what it is. Is it kind of that type?
Yeah, that's up to the Most High. Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cat, now we got to talk about it.
Well, we got to talk about.
Somebody asked me,
right?
They said, Abaya, you see the online war that's going on. So the online war, Yeah. I'm telling you how I was phrased. I'm telling you what I was told, right? ISUPK and Genesis. I said, oh man. I say, and I have seen a few things going back and forth. So I was like, man, I gotta ask him about it. What's this whole thing? Like, why did, I'm not gonna call it an online war, but I know there is some disagreement. Why the back and forth, the disagreement with Genesis? Like, what's going on with that situation?
Okay, I don't know if I could call it a war because we've never actually went to war with each other. The closest was last year. Hassad came on my live stream, and I actually just tried to have a conversation with him. I didn't want to debate. If anybody looks at my past, my history of debating, I've only debated technically one Israelite. His name was Yara on reincarnation. Outside of that, the other closest one was Zion Lex, but he punked out. That's the only two Israelites that I've had any form of debates, because debating Israelites is not an advantage for ISUBK. So that's why, if anybody wants to know, but I would have had a conversation. So I tried to have a conversation with him. It was just turned into a debate. The issue that I had with anybody, so it just so happens to be Genesis. I don't personally know Deacon. I don't personally know Hassad, even though I met Hassad, but I just didn't remember. Hassad reminded me, because he used to be in ISUBK too, and he reminded me of him staying at my brother Zakar's house in the Bronx for a Passover. So it's more so about what people like that are doing to the Israelite community. For some reason, Israelites think it's fun to just debate. I made a post the other day, like, if you couldn't debate, would you be in the truth? I made that post because debates is cool, but I remember Kadazar debated Darash on his Ruth the Moabite.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. The consensus was that Kadazar won. People that believed that Ruth is a Moabite came to Kadazar and said he won. But even though they said he won, they said, but Ruth is still a Moabite. She's not an Israelite. And that's all you need to know about debating Israelites. It's not gonna move the needle. It's not gonna move the needle in the sense that, oh wow, you opened my mind, so now I'm gonna come to your side. But when I go into the Christian world, when I go into the media world, like with the WAC 100s and stuff like that, I move the needle consistently. The issue with brothers like, and it ain't just Genesis, it's Sakari, it's any Israelite that does not take this job seriously, I'm always gonna have an issue with. What do I mean by seriously? You do not, if you take the position as elite, I think in Sakari he was a deacon, he was number 2, right? If you take that position, your life is not your life anymore. Your life belongs to the people that you're saying you're leading. It belongs to them. So everything you say, they might believe you. Everything you do, they might believe you. And when you tear down their belief, I'm the one that people may not notice, but I'm the one that people come to and say, Cap, are you going to speak about this? Cap, can you do this? Cap, can you talk about this? Nobody's talking about this. I believed them. I thought they was this way. Now they this way. And it just presents confusion. And I hate that, because what I see forming with all these different groups is what we talk about. You know how many different denominations of the Christian church? That's what you're about to have in the Israelite community. In the Israelite community, how you got Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, this one, that one, this one, that one, that one, this one. You know how many Israelite groups? They about to run out of alphabet acronyms. They're going to be using hieroglyphics. They're going to be using the Lashawan Kodash pictographs to describe their Hebrew Israelite group. So I personally hate that. And when I see that you don't have integrity, if I can talk about Christians all day and their lack of integrity, I'm going to talk about you and your lack of integrity. And the minute you say, so like, for example, when they first broke off from Guerrilla Hebrew, I questioned their brotherhood. They asked me to do a debate. That's all I needed to know about everything about them. How, if I'm questioning your brotherhood and the answer is to have a debate if we're in the New Testament or not, why ain't you corrected me on being wrong about my brotherhood. Excuse me, about your brotherhood. If you got brotherhood, beat me on what I'm talking to you about. Don't talk to me about something I'm not talking to you about. So the debate is to distract that you don't have brotherhood. So and when you fast forward to now, here's what's diabolical. They can teach whatever they want. I don't care what they teach personally. But what's diabolical is they had the most hated white man in all Israel contact me. Do y'all know how they came out with all nations can be saved? I came out with it. What I mean by I came out with it, not that they might not have been telling people in small circles that this is what they teaching, but nobody knew that that's what they was teaching on a grand scale. And then one day Vocab calls me and says, they want to debate you on can Gentiles be saved? I said, who? He said, Deacon and Hassad. I said, now, Vocab, you know you the devil. I said, are you trolling me? You trying to, this is what I said to him on the phone. I said, this can't be serious. Like if I could find a text message. When I go through the text message, I'm texting him like, I didn't believe him when he said that. And then he's like, nope, that's what they want to do. It could be a 2-on-2. It could be blah, blah, blah. And so I sat on it. I text Hassad like 6 a.m. because me and Hassad would text each other. Like we had a text, like even if we didn't talk, we would text each other. So before I said anything publicly, I texted him. I said, hey man, you have Vocab ask me for a debate, because I'm saying to myself, if they wanted to debate, why would you have the most hated white man ask me to debate you? Like I still to this day don't understand what was the logic of having Vocab Malone call me. And so I went to bed early because I get up about 5 something in the morning to go to the gym. So I went to bed early. When I wake up the next morning, I still hadn't said nothing publicly. I get a text message from Gorilla Hebrew telling me, yeah, they teaching Gentile salvation. And so he texted me that like 11 something that night.
Wait, Cat, before you go forward, is that what you meant when you said, it's, because I see you made a post, it's bad when me and Gorilla texting? That's what.
Yes, that's why I made that post. It's bad when me and Gorilla is in agreement, because me and that nigga, we ain't agreed since the whole, the things that he was doing. We haven't agreed. Yeah, there you go. So I'm still confused. So I'm thinking he just knows that. I'm not thinking that anything else other than that. And so he tells me, yeah, Vocab asked me if I would debate them. And so now I'm saying to myself, okay, so Gorilla Hebrew has left at that juncture. Gorilla Hebrew has left the Israelite community, his own words. He left the Israelite community. He said, because we're hypocrites, we're XYZ like that. And yet they had Vocab Malone ask him if he would debate. So it's okay for him to have done what he done. Now we're just going to debate about, can salvation be for Israel? And it just disgusted me even further. So now, not only do you got this white man asking me for a debate, but your integrity is that low that for a debate, you'll even debate Gorilla Hebrew if it'll bring you numbers. So that tells me they don't have a desire for the truth of the Most High, because there's better ways to do it. I would have respected it more if Deacon or Hassad would have just if they would have contacted me and said that, I probably wouldn't even said nothing. I would have let them do it however they wanted to do it. Let them come out on their own time, reveal it, XYZ like that. But to have Vocab Malone contact me was the most disgusting shit I ever heard. They'll never in their lifetime get respect from me, ever.
So it ain't have really nothing to do with them, you're saying. It's the process or the method in which they took during this whole process.
Their lack of integrity. Like you go into Vocab, and we know what Vocab calls us terrorists, says we're not Israelites, says we're not anything. So for me, Vocab Malone is the chief head priest of Genesis. That's their leader. That's their rabbi. That's their God.
Whoa, I'm not going to even touch that one. Listen, if Genesis, y'all watching, I'm open phone line. So y'all can touch. I'm not touching. All right. I can see your angles. Here's what I'm seeing right now. Everything that people have been talking about, even when we was just talking about, hey, ISUPK, the home of the truth, you're not in the truth, you're not here. People believing that ISUPK saying you can't get into the kingdom. Even this situation, to me, there has been a logical response. I mean, I can understand. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, let me get the chat involved. Let me get chat involved. Hey, chat. Now it's over 250 people, and we still got 100 likes, man. 110 now.
Oh, hey, let me tell you what I would do for that, Abaya. For the likes, what I do is on YouTube, I create a poll and I say, have you thumbed up the video? And people want to answer the poll, and sometimes that gets them to like the video. And then what I also do periodically, I sympathize with them. I say, listen, man, when I hop on the channels, I don't like the videos either. Let's all just do it together. Let's just go ahead and double tap that screen. So if you're on Inside the Nation Radio right now, it don't cost much to just double tap the screen on the phone. And as you thumb up the video, it increases the algorithm so that the video could go into more spaces. So make sure you thumb up the video.
Facts. Hey, you know what's sad though? We had to give a whole speech and create polls just to get a like. And it don't cost you nothing. It don't cost us that to support each other. But come on, man. Hey, so chat, let me get y'all involved. Listen, I want y'all to drop a 1 in the comment section, whether you agree or disagree. And if you disagree, it's fair. All right, you could agree or disagree. But drop a 1 if what you just heard, those are logical responses. Drop a 2 if you think they're not. But I'll drop a 1. I mean, because I think it's very logical. Drop a 1. It made sense, right? It made sense. And I let brothers speak for themselves. I do have something else I want to ask you concerning that. All I'm saying is ones. All I'm saying is one so far. And again, it comes down to, I think this is what brothers got to start communicating with each other more. A simple question. Hey, Kat, what you mean by not the truth? Are we not getting the kingdom? Nah, that ain't what we're saying. What we're saying is, what I'm saying, a lot of you jokers do this, so we just not associated, and here's our history behind it. And we never said, it's just simple communication, right? And again, how many of us have told our Christian brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties that you ain't getting in the kingdom if you ain't over here doing what I'm doing? It's the same concept, right?
Hey, you know the term they say, Abaya? They say you the 2/3. That's the equivalent of what we say. Y'all the 2/3. The Christians the 2/3. You know what that when you call somebody a 2/3, you're saying they're gonna die. We're not saying you're gonna die. When they call you a 2/3, they saying you're gonna die. So I think people need to get out their feelings about it. And if I could talk about Priest Daniel Allah again, the relationship I have, he goes to the priest. That's definitely he goes to the gym that I go to because of our relationship. And him and I have these conversations often. And that's why I just wanted to resonate with everybody. If you're not listening to Priest Daniel Allah, you can never complain about ISUBK's stance. If you some Israelite camp out there that calls Daniel Allah, Priest Daniel Allah, your elder, and you never listen to him in the crutch, in the grind, when it counts, when he's telling you not to do something, then you're worse than what we say, because that's a brother that is actually trying to help you, and you reject his counsel. The scriptures say, when you seek counsel, repent not. But you know how many groups don't listen to Daniel Allah? All of them.
That's facts. And Daniel Allah, that's an elder who definitely gives you some wise counsel. I've had conversations with Daniel Allah priest, and he's told me that, hey, Raya, I didn't say that. You know what I mean? He clears it up. I said this, they don't listen, So I know what you're saying is actually true.
Sound like you're saying
so let me
they the 2/3.
Listen. hey, Rick, if it gonna be said, Rick gonna say it.
Hey, I'm telling you, good. Look, most Negroes don't listen. They don't want to listen. They don't want to follow. Everybody just want an excuse to do what they want to do. That's why the vast majority of people don't even leave Christianity, which is the gay gospel. They stay in it. But as far as people in the so-called in the truth, like most people in the truth, like it's Christianity now, just dressed up in fringes and the beard and the border blue. That's all it is.
What? He said the gay gospel. Hey,
You know,
I can't
Christianity
even debate you though. Yeah, I can't even debate you on that. Let me ask you something else concerning this before we move forward, Cal. Well, we've been live for about almost an hour now. I saw a video, and I can't remember everything that was said, but I know you seemed pretty upset in that video in reference to Genesis. And you was like, I hope you're destroyed and this and that. Woo, where that came from. Now I got a follow-up question because I thought about something I want to ask you. I want to ask a follow-up question to that.
I meant every word of it. I pray to the Most High that Genesis falls and just burns to the fucking ground. Excuse my language. They're a detriment to like group, and this ain't just Genesis is just a name. It could be anybody. And the reason why I say that is because all of the people that trusted the very words, every word that came out of that mouth. Imagine how many Israelites. That's what I'm speaking for. I'm not speaking for me. I don't listen to them. I'm not taught by them. I gain nothing if they get 1 million followers or they get one. I gain nothing from it. So I'm not even speaking from my opinion. I'm not speaking from how I feel. But imagine all of the people that learned from them for years. And as they learned from them during that time, that's the truth. This is unbeatable. This is unbreakable. This is everything. And then now they teach the total opposite of what they was doing. And what are those people supposed to do with that? How do those people recover? How do those people now gauge what's true and what's false? So I'm speaking for them. I am tired of the people getting misled. I'm tired of the people constantly having to go through a fallen hero, a fallen soldier, a fallen priest, a fallen general, a fallen captain, a fallen whatever you want to call it. Haven't we had that enough? How long do the sheep get abused? And I'm tired of seeing it. And this ain't a new thing with just Genesis. I remember when that thing happened with Hassan Campbell, I did a whole rally, did a whole lecture with a Pan-Africanist because I hated what happened to him. I hated what transpired to kids when they were touched by adults. We dedicated a whole show to that because somebody has to defend the people. And one thing I'm good at is defending the people, and the people know it. And the people need to hear a voice where it's okay to not go along, because if there's no voice, everybody else goes along. What Israelites is out there saying that we should not go along with them? But so it ain't so much like I don't want nobody to think that I got personal, major issue or gripe or something like that. My issue is with what they're doing to the truth. It's not with what they're doing with their lives. They're nobodies to me. But what they're doing with the truth and how they're misleading people. When Christ said, if you offend one of these little ones, you've offended me. I'm paraphrasing the scripture. And that's who they've offended. Because now all those people, people hit me up and like, Cap, like, what do I teach now? Like, I did Cross the Line Radio yesterday. As I'm trying to talk, as me and Tazaryach is talking about the debate that we had on Matan's platform versus these two prominent white Christians, every caller that's calling in is calling in based on what they're saying. And the crazy part about what they're saying is not new. The scriptures ain't new. The breakdown ain't new. The understanding ain't new. It's just the voice is fresh. The voice goes from somebody that was teaching one way to now he's turned. So if he's turned, maybe there's some truth with it. I've had better conversations on Gentile salvation with Dre and Triller on Clubhouse than I've ever had with majority of the Christians that I've ever debated. And so it's not a war to me. It's a reckoning. It's a reckoning for all Israel to wake up. And the Bible says, let God be true and every man a liar. So I don't have no war with them, but I do want them to burn to the ground. Like I want the Christian church to burn to the ground because they're misleading my people.
So let me ask you this. Go ahead, Rick. You got it.
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna jump in this really fast. Like, here's the thing, and I'm seeing some of the comments, and it seems like somebody's having an issue with it. Not just him. I've seen somebody else say it, that he's saying he wished the organization or what's going on with this, what they doing would burn to the ground. I have a problem with people being more offended at somebody standing for the word of God. Psalm 97:10 talks about ye that love the Lord hate evil. How can you be in the truth and you don't hate evil? If you see something as evil, you should want it to be eradicated. Why would you be okay with it still being around if you dislike it? So yeah, if it's anything that I think is against the Most High, I want it to burn to the ground. I don't care if they call themselves Israelites, Christian. I don't care what they are. They're against the Most High. Dead. But people are more offended at that than sin or any type of wickedness. Anything is going against the wisdom of the Most High. Yeah, you should be offended
That's
that
what I was
people going
going.
against that. That's the problem. And I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
No, I get what you're saying. That's what I was going to ask Cap too about. So when you say Genesis, are you saying the organization, the camp? Are you talking about the people personally, the brothers personally? Like
you see how Sakari burned down to the ground, just like that.
But is that the you want the organization to stop because of what the organization is doing? But what about
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't want. I ain't wishing no. I don't want them to burn. I ain't got that kind of power. Only thing I will say though, Elijah did say after he beat them 450 prophets of Baal, he did slay them, but we not in that time, so I ain't gonna go that far. But I do want
that'd be like calling the prophets of Baal, wouldn't it? And wouldn't that be saying that? It's about the Israelite brothers here.
That's what it's like though. When you start teaching that, when you start teaching what Christians teach, that's what we're saying. Because what I'm saying should happen to them is what we say should happen to the Christian church. Christian church should burn to the ground too. So they're teaching what Christians teach. It's no different to me. The reason why people are offended by it is because if you call yourself an Israelite, have an Israelite name, for some reason, like Israelites' mentality just changed, where they think it's different because they got an Israelite name. It's different because they say Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, Yehoshua, or whatever type of Hebrew they use. They think it's different. And so I think that they should burn to the ground. I'm not talking about themselves burning, but Genesis should stand no more, just like the Christian church should stand no more. They should get themselves together. Even the transition of it, when you think about it, majority of people did not know that that's what they taught. And so boom, they just come out with it. There's no transition, there's no break, there's no nothing. So they go from leaving Sakari, no transition, no break. They go right into teaching. They go changing the different doctrines, no transition to break. They just go right into doing it. So it's like a reed shaking in the wind. Like what will come up next that will change in the doctrine. And that's unstable for the sheep. The shepherd, like if they're the shepherd, they're destroying the sheep.
I did have a conversation with him about the whole presentation. And that was one reason they came on the show, because, you know, they realized that, all right, maybe we could have did it differently, you know, the presentation of everything. So here's my follow-up question to that, because there's been plenty of questions. I have a question that says, okay, when he said that about Genesis, his own brothers, why is the energy not the same for Wack when Wack disrespected everything that we believe in and stand on? The forefathers, the Bible, our God, and everything else.
Oh, that's a beautiful question, because people in the world are always going to get a different pass from me than people that say they're in the truth, because their understanding is different. So here's how I learned and why I deal with Wack this way. There's a video of Captain Tawar in our school. In the video with Captain Tawar in our school, we at camp, and the brother is the young brother. He's yelling at Captain Tawar, man, I'll shoot everybody. And Captain Tawar is like, nah, you ain't gonna shoot nobody. You're gonna be a brother. And the brother looks at our 12 tribe sign and he says, I'll shoot everybody on this sign from Judah all the way down to the Mexicans. And Captain Tawar and him is blazing at each other for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the brother comes onto the side of the table and he's crying and he's hugging Captain Tawar. And he really was just a brother that was hurt. And so the anger that you hear out of him is just aggression. Nobody gave him the compassion. So now, how does that relate to Wack and anybody else in the world? When it comes to Wack 100, when me and Wack 100 first got together and linked up, I remember, and here's something else. This is a Clubhouse thing right here. When me and Wack first linked up, I told Wack, I said on a stage, I said, Wack, we need a room for the Israelites. He said, no, you need to create a room. So I created a One West room. That One West room was for every Israelite on Clubhouse. So it was for the Sons of Thunder, the HOIs, the God First Gang, the Lions of Israel, all of them. I invited all of them over. Do you think they came? Not really. Sometimes they came, sometimes they didn't. So I tried to create an element where we could all come over to the 100 side, and then we can all deliver that truth. Now, as we're doing that, there's two sides of it. And this is what I mean about the fickleness of Israel. So when Wack brings me over to interview Kanye West, oh, Israel loved that. Israel was like, yo, we interviewed Kanye. They got to hear Kanye talk about being an Israelite, being a Jew, blah, blah, blah. When we have the fallout, the same groups, not, so I don't want to say that. HOI, for example, made a room saying that I should have never went over there. I should have never went over there. This will happen when you deal with them. And I'm saying to myself the whole time I'm saying that I'm dealing with them and I'm listening to the Israelites say that, I'm saying, what's the point of going to a place where they just want to hear what you say? So because me and Wack had an argument and he said the things that he said, that I should stop dealing with them, because at that time, brothers on the 100 side was coming into the truth. And so Wack 100 is like Sinetta. Sinetta to this day will tell you he's not an Israelite, but Sinetta has done nothing but promote the truth since he's been in there. And Sinetta is another brother that has said, F your Bible, F your God, X, Y, Z like that. And people would say, Cap, why are you dealing with Sinetta like that? The same way they talk about Wack. And so over the process of time, me and Wack have argued, and then Wack have done things to help push the truth. Wack has brought me on No Jumper, able to push the truth. Then Wack went on Vlad TV, and on Vlad TV, Wack tells the whole world that Drake is an Israelite because Captain Tazaryach taught him that you're an Israelite according to your father, not the mother. So when I look at Wack 100, Wack 100 is never going to come into the truth, ever. Never going to be an Israelite, ever. There's going to be days, well, in the past, I would say in the past almost a year now, we haven't had no issue whatsoever. But prior to that, we had clashes. When you think about the environment he comes from a gang environment. He comes from a argue first, friends later argument. So I went into the conversation with Wack, understanding that in order to get through him and his people, this is what you have to go through. And it has helped out immensely. I got one more story. This is how small and this is how much this works. We have a prison program in ISUPK. Shout out to Captain Zakar. He has a prison program where we work with brothers in the prison program. And this is how small this world is, and this is how everything connects. So that white boy Matan, he had invited me to come on his platform. He had called me like on a Monday. We spoke on a Monday. He paid for my flight that Tuesday. I flew out there that Thursday. When I fly out there on Thursday, there's an officer named A Warrior that lives in Los Angeles, former Hoover. He picks me up from the airport. He comes from the prison program, came into the truth in prison. I think he's 30. I think he might be 36 or 38, and 18 of those years was in prison, if I'm not mistaken. So he picks me up. He brings me to his house. I'm at his house. His wife makes me the best Philly cheesesteak egg rolls I've ever had in my life. I go do the interview. I go home. 2 weeks ago, Wack's wife, R&B, calls me on FaceTime. The first time she called me, I didn't answer. I couldn't get to the phone. She calls me again on FaceTime. When she calls me on FaceTime, she's calling me to make fun of her and I having an exchange. She says to me, now when I FaceTime and video her, it's a woman in the background, it's a man in the background. I don't know either one of them. And so at least I didn't think I knew either one of them. And so she says, Cap, tell them about how I beat you in that debate. So we laughing about her beating me in the debate. I said, no, you didn't beat me in the debate. And then the brother said, Shalom, Cap. So when he didn't say shalom or shalom, he said shalom. So when people say shalom, I always think, well, he got to be my type of Israelite to pronounce it that way. So I'm asking him who he is. And so he tells me who he is. And he's a brother that I've been counseling for 7 months, never spoken to him a day in my life. I've been counseling him only on Instagram. So he would message me on Instagram, ask a question on Instagram. I would counsel him, advise him on Instagram. He said, I've been coming into the truth. I gave him the number to California. So now that connection that I got with Wack that got me in touch with, had a relationship with R&B, now got me in touch with the director. Then the woman in the back says, yeah, Cap, you loved my egg rolls. And when she said you love my egg rolls, I didn't understand what she meant. Then my brain went to, then she showed me her phone. She's FaceTiming her husband, who is Officer Warrior, the brother that picked me up from the prison program. So how small of a world is it that R&B, that director who I'm counseling, and that woman is the wife of a warrior, and they all working together now. Now, if I'm not going in these different spaces and working with these different brothers and not getting in my feelings because of what they might say evil about this or evil about that when they're not even in the truth, then the truth just doesn't get spread to me. So I don't look at Wack as I look at an Israelite, because I put Wack in the section of he's never going to be an Israelite, and he'll tell you that. But Wack will willingly help me push this truth more than Israelites will help me push the truth.
So real quick, hey, the phone lines are now open, and the phone number is at the top of the screen, 305-209-7902, 305-209-7902. Make sure y'all smash that like button. All right, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. All right. If you call in, let's just keep it 100% respectful. I don't care if you agree, disagree. Y'all know inside the nation, we always show our guests the utmost respect, right? So if you call in, if you decide to call in, then, you know, just question, concern, comment, conversation you want to have, let's have it. But keep in mind, you can't be on the phone, 10 minutes straight. We'll give you about 5 minutes. Maybe if you're having a conversation, we can do that on the clubhouse side. If you got anything you want to add to the conversation, come up to the stage. All right. But make sure before you come up to the stage, you get rid of that pink ticket. No pink tickets on stage. All right. So if you want to come up, raise your hand and come up and have the conversation. If you have been addressed tonight, I would love for you to call in. Y'all know how I do it. I love for brothers to speak for themselves. All right. Let me ask you this. I kind of know what you think about the Gentile salvation topic. I don't know if I even have to ask that question. I think everybody should know what you feel about it as well.
Right.
Let's talk about the Cornelius as an Edomite topic. Because there's some let me get the call real quick. Caller, thanks for calling Inside the Nation Radio. Turn the show down in the background so it don't echo through. What's your name? Where you calling?
Yes, sir. My name is Ashar Yahweh from Lexington, Kentucky.
All right. You say Yashar?
Yeah, sir. Out my way, please.
Ashar Yahweh.
Okay. You out there with Rick Judah?
Yeah, you like an hour away, hour and a half.
Right. What you got for us?
All right. Brother Cap, first of all, let me say Yahweh by Hashem,
Yahweh Shem Shabbat.
Hey, wait, hold on. Y'all must ain't watch the Zion Lex show. Just playing, go ahead. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, we're going to talk about it in a second, Cap. Don't go nowhere. We're going to have that conversation. Go ahead,
Yeah, man. To my brother Cap, man. We have had dialogue before. He knows that I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I was once in Louisville, Kentucky, but I just couldn't find ISUPK up there. But I'm back home in Lexington now, and the brother has also counseled me on my marriage that I was in, not more, but he has counseled me and stuff like that, and so water for that. And just wanted to just bring out the fact that we are brothers. You know what I mean? I'm not in no council and whatnot, but at the same time, I take teachers of what you all teach. I take teachers from ISUPK. I take teachers from IUIC. I take teachers from at that time, it was Card saying that I listened to the Card for 5 years. And I've learned a lot of things. My
apologies. Let me hold on. I got a message saying you're low on the clubhouse. Hey, mine's in the clubhouse. Is he low to y'all?
He's low, but I can still hear him. A little bit volume would be appreciated.
It's all the way up on that side. Let me try. Hey, Carl, give a mic check real quick. I just want to make sure everybody.
Mic check.
All right.
Shalom.
Not sure why you're low. Okay, just go ahead. I'll try and get you up high. Also, the mods too. Hey, listen. While we having a conversation, if y'all got questions, concerns, comments, you know, when the caller get off, or for the caller, or for the cap, whatever, jump in there. By all means. Go ahead, caller.
Con. And Captain is the reason why now I say shalom, because he broke down the shalom part. He broke down the shalom part. So those pieces that I have taken from all these brothers, and like I said, I'm not in no camp, and I was trying to be in ISUPK in Louisville, but I couldn't get in touch with them. But that's besides the point. Is that I love all my brothers, and we all should come together. Zechariah, what is it? Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Aren't we supposed to come together? Aren't we going to come together as far as Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1? You know, and for those ones that's going to make it on the chariots, this one that's going to go through the wilderness, we going to go through the wilderness together. He going to, you know, take out the wheat from the tare. You know what I mean? And I know that we are going to have some disagreements. The scripture says, while on this earth right now, we will have disagreements. We are not going to agree right now. And I understand it. That's what the prophet said. That's what the scripture says. And I understand that. But there's going to come a time in a point that we are going to stick together. We're going to have one name for the Most High. He said he's going to give us one name. We don't even know the correct name. I call him Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? But who knows when that time comes when he give us his new name. We're going to have new bodies. We're going to have new names. Nobody has, I can't say that everybody has the truth right now. You know what I'm saying? I can say that we all striving for, I'm sorry.
No, I'll just agreeing with you. Go ahead. You got a question though you getting to or a comment? Just want to go ahead and.
Well, he really did answer the question about Deacon. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because when I first heard it, I was like, wow, I can't believe this brother would say that. But he clarified that he wasn't talking about the brother per se. He was talking about that organization. And true enough, I believe that the Gentiles, if you want to say the Gentiles' salvation is making it to the kingdom, they will make it into the kingdom, but they're going to be servants and handmaids. I believe that, but I wouldn't say that that's salvation like is the same level as the Israelites. So I just want to make that comment right there. That's all.
All right. Hey, we'll appreciate it. Kat, you want to respond to him or? All right, Ashar, we appreciate you calling in, King.
And I love you, Captain, man. Thank you, the water for everything you have done for me. All right, shalom.
And we're gonna talk about that language because I gotta get your response on that language. So let's talk about that real quick for the next caller come in. Oh, never mind. Hey, I'm trying to get to it. Hey, shalom, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, brother? Shalom. My name is James. I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio.
James, how you doing? What you got for us?
Okay, this is what I have. First of all, I was a member of ICUPK before they became ISUPK. I was a member from 1989 to 1997. I used to attend the classes, right? So here's my question.
You with us? You still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your video started going. Let me pause it. Okay. So yeah, my question is for Tazaryach, and it's for all the brothers in all the camps. What I see out of all of your doctrines that I had to learn for myself is that Revelations 20 has never been explained with any truth or with any detail. When you read Revelations 20, it's clear that Gog and Magog is all of the nations that God brought back. Why do we know he brought back? Because it's the first resurrection. It says they surrounded the heavenly city to try to attack the saints, and God killed all the nations. Now, when you get to Revelations 21, it says the 12 tribes of Israel are the only ones that's going to the 12 gates to enter New Jerusalem. In fact, John said he saw the city being poured out from God. The city is made out of gold that's better than any gold that ever existed on earth. And no man is allowed to touch it. Just like when you go back to Numbers, when God told us to build the altars, he said, no man better touch one stone with any tools created by man, or I'm going to kill you. So we do not have fleshly servants building New Jerusalem, first of all. Therefore, if no flesh is going to enter New Jerusalem because it'd be defiled, how are we going to have white servants? Esau is going to be destroyed. He's never going to go nowhere near the kingdom. I'm telling you that right now. Second of all, Jesus already told the Pharisees who said, whose husband is going to belong to this wife if she had 7? Jesus said, no flesh and blood enters the kingdom of heaven. So no genitals. All of us will be the sons of God, as that's one gender without a physical body, but a spiritual body. So we're not having sex with nobody. I don't care if it's a great millstone saying a 12-year-old, which I think is disgusting, or even if she's a 20-year-old. In New Jerusalem, we're not having sex no more. As far as the reincarnation, Corinthians 1:15 shoots that down.
Gotcha.
Death is destroyed.
I'm gonna put you on the clock. I'm gonna give you 60 more seconds. Go ahead and lay you plane, and I'm give you another minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the 60 seconds. I just want them to break down Revelations 20 in great detail so I know where all the groups stand. That's all.
So you want Cap to break down Revelation 20?
Right, and then I want you to pass the message to Genesis, Great Millstone, all of them. I want to see every last group's teaching or preaching on Revelations 20, and that's going to clear up most of that confusion once they get down to that, to the nitty gritty. Also, Cap, you said that if people believe in a different thing.
One at a time. Let me see if Cap want to go with that, and one at a time. You want to?
What point is he making?
Yeah, all of everything he said is extremely ignorant and stupid to me. And I'm not going.
That's what I always say when
I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you when you spoke, man. Hey, shut your mouth. You're right, I am. Just keep your mouth closed while I'm talking. I didn't talk while you talk.
You a bad nigga too.
Look at him. Oh, you didn't have to hang up on him.
Hey, don't call him my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know.
The Bible says you can say ignorant, man. I'm not going to no kingdom that you can't have a wife. I'm sorry.
Hey, I was about to say,
don't bring me. Yeah, don't bring me to no king. That is not the king. That's hell. Like you talk about hell going. So you living forever and no wife? Like what you doing? What is happening then? Like what is heaven? If there's no woman, if there's no children, if there's no family, if you don't have nothing, what is there?
Man, no buns in the kingdom.
I'm sorry. We get a woman now in hell. You telling me in heaven it's supposed to be better?
Yeah.
We not reproducing children no more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the record, Matthew the 22nd chapter is about reincarnation. It's not about whether you have a wife or not in the kingdom. When Yahweh Shah says in the regeneration they need to marry nor given in marriage, because reincarnation happens when you come out of your mother's womb. When you come out the womb, you're not looking for a wife, you're looking for milk. So that's the context of that. Salakia.
That was your question.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I'm doing. Like, Rick, that was on y'all, man. That's y'all question, man. I give it.
He covered what I was thinking. I was like, you crazy as hell. You go somewhere, ain't get no ass. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not going to that. Listen, when I tell you I don't want to go to that kingdom. I'm not going to no kingdom. That's extremely gay to teach that you're not having a wife in the kingdom. I'm sorry.
Why hey, listen, y'all don't get me canceled tonight. Not tonight. I want to come back next week. Y'all, they try to get me canceled. Hey, there's a comment on the screen that says, now, Captain, the Bible don't speak on reincarnation. That's the problem I have with you. It speaks on resurrection.
So the easiest example is when Christ said John was Elijah. It don't get no more reincarnation than that. Christ said John was Elijah. We know that John was born from Zechariah and Elizabeth having sexual intercourse to produce John, who was Elijah. In John 9:1, when it says, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? What could the child have done to be born blind unless he did something in the past life? Ecclesiastes said there's no new, that which has been is named already, and it is known that it is man. So the cycle of life is when when you die, your flesh decays, your spirit goes before the Most High, goes to the Most High, Ecclesiastes 12:7, and then you're born back into this world. That's the cycle of life. Everything recycles. Right now, we're in the winter stage. The trees, the leaves, everything is dead. And then they just so happen to come to life in the spring. There's nothing on this planet that doesn't, the water recycles. When enough heat hits that water, it evaporates, goes up into the clouds. When enough of that goes up into the clouds, you know what happened? It rains and comes back down. There's nothing that doesn't recycle. That's how the Most High built this place.
Is that the Devil's Tower? What they call it? It's like it looks like a giant tree stump that's flat on top, and it's like a waterfall, and nobody can figure out where this water is coming from. And it just keeps recycling, and it's been going for obviously forever. But I know that's probably a little different of an example, but it's a cycle. Everything's a cycle. Just to add on to what you're saying. But here's what I finally want to get to, since we don't have a call coming in, Cap. Cornelius.
Yeah. Hey, right before you get into it, right before you get into it, I just want to make a comment on what Dude said about the Bible not speaking on reincarnation. That's a problem we got with him. If that's where you draw the line, you got serious problems. Because I disagree. I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe in regeneration, but I don't believe in reincarnation. I don't believe we come back, all of that stuff. But I don't care. It ain't that big a deal where I'm like, hey, I draw the line. I can't mess with you no more because of this. I can't listen to you. That's stupid. That don't make no damn sense. But
wait,
you know,
did he say he draw the line there? Hold on. He said
I mean, basically, when he's like, the comment was, I go back up to it because I read it again.
Let me see. It says, now, Captain, the Bible don't speak on reincarnation. That's the problem I have with it. It speaks on resurrection. With you, it speaks on resurrection. So I guess
what I'm saying is like I have that problem with you. Like I'm really gonna say I got an art with somebody because of that. Like somebody saying, "Hey, I like the Chicago Bulls. You got on an Indiana Pacers shirt. That's the problem I got with you." What? Get out of my face! Like for real, that's stupid.
Somebody say, "Yeah, I never heard that one before. That's different."
Like you ain't. I heard that a bunch of times. I hear Christianity say it all the time.
I mean, broke it down like that?
Yeah, not me. Not me. I love sex.
That says, y'all listening to
all right, you ain't gonna ask your question about it.
I thought this was funny though.
Oh, what it say? Wait, what it say? Oh, you listen to Cat one shot from being drunk. One thing I thank the Most High for, he has never had me on no damn live stream drunk. I do thank the Most High for that.
Oh man, it's not a sin to.
It sure is not. It sure is not. Thank you. Now, come on, get your question in before. Oh, I thought it was the language. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I want to hit that too. I got a couple questions to ask.
Okay, Con. Okay, so you want to do Cornelius first? That's fine.
Yeah, there is a document from the 01 the West that they taught. Cat running, y'all. I'm just playing around.
Nah, I'm just really trying to figure out this. No, never mind. I don't know. And then it's I don't know if he's gonna ask the question. Oh no, he back.
All right. Let me get it pulled up. I don't have it on the screen. Yeah. And it's written by written by Arya, Equib, and Masha. It is called I guess it's called Change of World. I see Change of World. And it says these tribes make up the nation of Israel. Change the world. These tribes make up the nation of Israel. Now it could be that because it's kind of cut off of me, so you could be right by that. But there's, I'm gonna read what it says on page. I think it's page 8. Let me go to it. Yeah. And it's page 6. My bad. What volume? Let me see if I can find that. It is. No, I can't. I can't see the volume. I don't. I don't see a volume on here. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not, but I don't see it. So on page 6, not 8. Let me see if this is the one. It says we also find Paul speaking to the Israelites in Corinth. No, it's not the one I want to read first. Hold on. My bad. My bad. I think it is page 8 that I was talking about first. Yeah, it is page 8. All right, just want to go first. It says, we find in Romans 10 and 9, Paul speaking to the natural Gentiles when he said,
If thou shalt
confess
confess with thy mouth
the
the
Lord
Lord
Christ
Christ,
and shall believe in thy heart that God
God
hath
hath
raised
raised
him
him
from the
from the
dead,
dead,
thou
thou
shalt
shalt
be
be
saved.
saved.
So if my question is, so right
Isn't that
here,
him quoting? Isn't that him quoting Yaquab? I mean, not Yaquab. I'm sorry. Isn't that him quoting Abba Bivens? Not his quote.
is it?
Yeah. To my
Not
understanding.
like I read the whole thing now, but the
Yeah,
highlighted
to
parts
my
that I have,
understanding.
that's what it says.
Yeah, because in page 6 that you have, I know that he quotes Yaquab, I'm sorry, Abba Bivens in 1. And then when you go to page 17 on that same book that they say Ariel wrote, he said the so-called white nation has always made up the various nations around the world. In the beginning, the earth was dominated by some white Jews. That I'm trying to get to the point. But like on page 17, it'll tell you that salvation is only for Israel. It doesn't say that.
17.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this: if he is quoting Abba Bivens, wouldn't it still be a change or no?
No, I wouldn't look at that as a change because Abba Bivens didn't establish ISUBK. Abba Bivens was a part of. Hold on one second. Abba Bivens was a part of. Also, too, what address do they have on there? Do they have a? Because yeah, because on the front of that it says the address was 1 West 125th Street. And what's interesting about that is the school wasn't established when that book was written. Well, Abba Bivens didn't establish ISUBK. Abba Bivens, Yaquab, and I believe it was Abba Bivens, Yaquab, Ariyah, and Mashah were brothers that left the commandment keepers. So Abba Bivens didn't get a chance to establish ISUBK. So you can't count. And unfortunately, he was unalived by Muslims. And so he didn't establish ISUBK. He was just one of the men that left with them from the commandment keepers. So no, I wouldn't call that a change.
So it says written by Mashah, Ariyah, and Yaquab, like you just says, written by them. You say they're quoting. Now there's also a let me play this.
And just so you know, by the book he's quoting from is Marks of a Lost Race that they say is written by Abba Bivens, but the address stamp on there says 1 West 125th Street, but Abba Bivens had passed away before that school was established.
Hey, real quick, before you go on, before you play the video, just real quick point. Romans, I don't care who said it. No disrespect to the elders here before, but how do they get natural Gentiles being talked to in Romans 10 and 9 when verse 1 literally says, brethren, my heart's desire is that Israel be saved? What the hell are they talking about? Like I don't really care who said it. Whoever said it's a dumbass. I'm just gonna, or they were strongly misinformed. Let me put it that way.
Ariah is called Change of Worlds, and they're quoting what Abba Bivens said. It doesn't say whether they're agreeing or disagreeing with him. The reason why I take the position that they're disagreeing with him is that on page 17 in that same book is where he says it's only for Israel and Edomites don't get saved. So it sounds good when they say, look, they got this quote in the book, but Ariah has never taught. And I'm glad. I hated that Daniela did it, but I have to thank him afterwards when Priest Daniela put out the videos of what Ariah actually taught at the time. So he didn't teach that.
All right.
And what I would like to always point out, PDFs can be altered. And I don't trust Vocab at all, because before Vocab ever gave that book to Deacon and them, I think he's the one that brought that book out, and I don't trust him at all. We call a white man the devil for a reason.
Vocab.
Yeah, Vocab had put that book out like a couple years, like a year or two ago. Like this book that they say Abba Bivens wrote is not new. It might be new to the Israelite world, but I've seen Vocab bring this book out a year or two ago.
So there was a recording. General Yohana was saying how Tahar, the GMS guy, took credit for saying that Cornelius was an Israelite, but that's what Masha and Yaqub had already taught. He was trying to get it hooked. I'm trying to get it hooked. Give me a second. I was trying, boss. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm looking for this.
So you're talking about
Go ahead.
So with Cornelius, like everything within the truth. So like you take the 12 tribes of Israel. They didn't teach that the 12 tribes of Israel was the Black Hispanics and Native Indians in 1969. They had to learn it first. So that's a study. Virgin birth, that's a study. Gentile salvation, all of these things are studies. So as they're teaching the Bible, if they might have taught one thing and then as they're teaching it, they say, okay, this is this. That's not a change to me. It's almost like in Acts 11 and 19 when Peter and them was still doing John's baptism. And when they seen the Holy Spirit descend on them without water, and it says, then remembered I, John indeed baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit. When the 7 heads came into the truth, it's not magic where you just learn the truth automatically. They just got zapped with this information. They learned it through study. They learned it through classes. They learned it through teaching. So that's why Commander Jenny Hanna said what he said about Mashar and Ariah, bringing out that Cornelius was an Israelite as opposed to Tahar doing that.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I found it. I can't pull it up on my desktop. I do have it. Let me play it.
If somebody else, man, y'all listen. What I be telling my chat, you gotta start putting your chat to work. You gotta tell them, hey man, find that video where such and such says such and such, and they should go to work and find that.
Right here. I can't put it on the. I'm gonna play it. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Let's see.
Put it to the mic.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hey, caller, hold on 1 second, caller. I'm coming right back to you. All right, let me see if let me back it up. All right, so here we go. It's gonna be low. Y'all might have to turn y'all volumes up to try and hear it because I can't pull it up. I'm gonna try and put it on the phone. Y'all ready?
Get a tape. Ariah, Marshall, Yaqub, they all fuck what I'm teaching. The hard bastard know it. He know it. That's why he tried to discredit Ariah and say that Ariah never changed from Cornelius being an Edomite to an Israelite when in 1996 Ariah changed it and said, I have a correction. That Cornelius is an Israelite. You can't steal no credit from Ariah, you bastard. You ain't came out with.
So that's the clip I was referring to.
So at the surface level, it doesn't identify Cornelius as an Israelite or non-Israelite. It just says he was an Italian, excuse me, it just says he was a centurion of the Italian band. The Italian band just being a military. And so with that said, all you got to do is look at one verse when it says in Acts 10 and 15, it says, and the voice spake unto him again the second time, what God hath cleansed, that call not thou common. And there's only one people in the Bible that God has cleansed. And we can actually read who he cleansed. So as you highlight in Acts 10 and 15, call not thou common, I want you to go to the book of Ezekiel 37. Go to book of Ezekiel 37 and 23. If you can go there. I'm going to read it. Thank you. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, and so shall they be my people, and I will be their God. So when the Lord says to Peter, what I've cleansed, call not thou common, when you start at verse 15 in Ezekiel 37 and 15, it talks about Judah and his brethren, which are the tribes that belong to him, Joseph, which is the stick of Ephraim, and his brethren, and the tribes that belong to him, and him cleansing the 12 tribes wherever they are scattered. So if we're scattered in America, we get cleansed. We're scattered in Sisera, we get cleansed. Scattered in Cappadocia, Corinth, Romans, no matter where we're at, God cleansed us. The fact that he even cleansed us means we had to have gotten dirty. So at one time we was clean, we got dirty, required to be cleaned again. And so that's how you can easily understand that. Most people run down to the bottom of Acts, respect the persons. That's also easily explained. When Peter said, it is an unlawful thing for thou being a Jew to come into one of another nation, that is not a law in the Torah or Tanakh. But that is a law that the Pharisees created that they respected, that Peter respected, just like they had the custom of washing hands. So they had their customs. So that's what the respected persons is talking about there. So that's a very easy thing to clean up as far as Cornelius goes.
All
right. I gotta go ahead and say.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Now I was gonna say I actually I've used a whole bunch of stuff to show that Cornelius is Israelite, but I ain't never used the cleanse in Ezekiel 37. So hey, props for that one. Hey,
no sweat, no sweat, brother, no sweat, no sweat.
Caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Shalom, man. This brother Shabar, man.
Man, you must ain't watch the show either. Shalom. We gonna get to it.
Hey, before, Shabar, before you do anything, you owe me an apology, brother. I tried to dialogue with you on my car Chronicle. Just let me finish. I tried to dialogue with you on my car Chronicles as you was cussing at me. Even as I cussed you out and hung up on you, I texted you. I called you back to get you back on the show so we could actually have the conversation. Before you can ask or say anything, you owe me an apology. If you cannot apologize, we cannot go further.
No, I definitely apologize, man. You know what I mean? No, I apologize. So before doing that, could have came a little bit way more peacefully, so we could have had the dialogue and the conversation.
Appreciate it. Okay, you can ask the question.
I just had a few questions. I guess my first question would be concerning the book Change of Worlds in page 8, dealing with Romans 10 and 9. He said, Ariad said all the Gentiles there could be saved. And I know you believe that the ISUPK doctrine has been unchanged since the beginning. Do you agree with Ariad's viewpoint in the Book of Worlds on page 8?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not Ariad. That's Ariad quoting what Yaquab wrote in his book. That's not Ariel's position.
Oh, okay.
On page 17,
Okay.
on page 17 of that same book, you'll see Ariel's position that it's only for the 12 tribes of Israel. If you was to ever text that same number you call, I could send you the screenshot of page 17 and 18 of that same book, and you'll see Ariel's position. So he's just quoting Yaquab in that book. Excuse me, on that page.
Con, I got you. Would you say was Yaquab the founder of that?
No, Yaquab wasn't the founder of ISUBK. He had unfortunately was unalived before ISUBK was actually founded. I'm sorry, I keep saying Yaquab. I apologize. Abba Bivens was unalive before ISUBK was established. So Abba Bivens.
Who is the founder? If you don't mind me asking.
The founders of ISUBK are I would say the four first, I believe, is Arya, Yaquab, Mashah, those three, then Yeshaya, Lahab, Kazak Shah came afterwards. So that's Bibbins. I keep saying Yaquab. I just one second, Shabbat. I keep saying Yaquab. I do want to apologize for keep saying Yaquab, but it's Abba Bivens that made that quote. I just want that emphasis clear. I'm talking about Abba Bivens, not Yaquab. But Abba Bivens, to answer your question, he's not the founder of ISUBK. He's the man that was with the brothers that would eventually establish ISUBK, but he was unalived by Muslims when they told him not to speak or come out and teach. He came out and taught anyway, and then they unalived that brother.
Sorry, I know we're on a time crunch. The next question I wanted to deal with 1 Corinthians 15, 21 through 23. If you don't mind, just to get your perspective on that. 15, 21, 23. Let me get this real quick. I should have had this up. Slack here. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
1 Corinthians 15, 21 and through 23. But since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as Adam all die, even so in Christ shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, Christ the first fruits, afterwards they that are Christ at his coming.
Would you agree that all men would be including the Gentiles that died from Adam?
No, I would not. When we look at all men, when you say Gentiles, just so we could be clear, Gentiles from your lens of what you're asking is non-Israelites, right?
Yeah, nation.
Right.
People. So the text is saying all men, so we're dealing from Adam, we're dealing with genealogy, we're dealing with pursuing to now. Just posing
No, it would not. And that's the problem that brothers and sisters and even I at one time suffered reading the Bible. So I always use a parallel so people can understand. In the American Constitution, when it says all men are created equal, that did not include the British white men that they just won their independence from. When they say all men are created equal, it didn't include the British that they went to war with. It didn't include the Native Indians that they had on reservations. It didn't include the black people that were their slaves. The all men included the conversation or the people that they were talking about. So when it's talking about Adam, that's how you know it's talking about Israelites, because Egyptians don't know about Adam. Assyrians don't know about Adam. The Ethiopians don't know about Adam. That's Israelite culture to know about Adam. That's how you know he's only talking to Israelites. So when he says, and every man and Adam all die, he's talking to Israelites about our history and about our way of life. He's not telling an Egyptian that and through Adam all men died doesn't even compute, because their concept of origin of life doesn't include Adam. Assyrians doesn't include Adam. Ethiopians doesn't include Adam. So that context of the all men is only Israelites. And one more, and I'll land it here. In 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, in the same chapter, it tells you, moreover, brethren, I would not you be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud. The fathers that was under the cloud were Israelites. So in Corinth, It could only be Israelites that he's talking to, because there's not the Greeks, ethnic Romans didn't go under that cloud. So even in there, it gives you a clue as to who he's talking to and the context of what he's talking about.
Now I would see that it's like, yeah, who he's talking to, that's true, but also what is the letter saying in the equivalent in that. So why would you say Gentiles die? Is there any book, chapter, and verse explaining from Adam on why the nations are dying? Because I would say what we just read plainly in 1 Corinthians explained and expounded on that a little bit. But you saying, so why would you say Gentiles?
Hold on real quick, Shabar. Before Cap answer, is this based on just like the salvation, like the Gentile salvation topic? Is that what we're talking about? Trying to show that Gentiles have salvation as well, or can be saved as well?
Well, yeah. We going in the text and we can see that the New Testament writers are talking about the nations. Like we just read a text plainly talking about from Adam, and then why people are dying. And this brother said here that had nothing to do with the actual nations that we see in the text. It says it did. So that's why I'm just asking plain questions. You know, this book was written, I think, on the 6th to 8th grade reading level, and this stuff is plain here. He just disagreed with the text. So I have another.
It's not even talking. Hey, it's not even talking about death. It's not talking about dying physically. It's talking about your spirit when you actually in sin, when you're in wickedness. You resurrected in life in repentance. Like, so it's not even talking about that. He's not talking to those people. If he's not talking to that group of people, why would he be referring to them? That don't even make sense. What you're saying, I don't know where you're trying to go with this.
Fall on the sword. Why do they that? Since you jumped in,
I don't know where you're trying to go with this.
Wait, you're not making sense.
Hey, Shabar. Let me just finish. Let me sum it up, because I think I could speak for me and Rick on this one. It's amazing that when Israel gets cursed, there ain't no other nations that join in that cursing. Don't nobody say we cursed and the white man is cursed with us, the African is cursed with us, the Arabs and the Chinese and all cursed with us. But somehow the resurrection has to include everybody. It just has to. Like, listen, I'm not finished. I don't. Why you? Hey, listen. Hey, man. Hey, we're not going to Acts 17. Rest in your femininity and relax. So now, in 1 Corinthians 15, you're interrupting me. That it's weird that you would be rude. It's weird that you would be rude and keep interrupting. Thank you. That's why I got to tell you to rest in your femininity. Don't be rude. Thank you. So, like the brother said, when it says in Adam, we all die, even so Christ shall be made alive. The first resurrection is you resurrecting you right now. In John, the 3rd chapter, Christ said, you must be born again. And even Nicodemus didn't understand that, because he thought you had to go back in your mother's womb, when Christ was talking about your change spiritually. The only people that was given spiritual instructions on how to live is the children of Israel. So the only people that this death in life could be talking about in 1 Corinthians 15 is the children of Israel. That's why I showed you in 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, when he says, our fathers passed under the cloud. Unless you about to show me some ethnic Romans and some ethnic Greeks that passed under that cloud, it can only be Israelites that was the fathers. And so therefore, it can only be Israelites that he's talking to in Corinth. That's how you harmonize the Bible. This is not emotionalism. This is just common sense, like you said, on the 6th grade level. You have the floor, brother.
Yeah, Acts 17, right? Acts 17, verse 26 is my question. We're going to read the 32. It says, and have made one blood all nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined the time before appointed in the bounds of their habitation.
What verse you started at?
If happily they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. Verse 28, for in him we live more, and have our began, as certain also of you, your own poets have said, for if we are also his offspring. right? So we are also his offspring. So like, for as much though as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone graven by art, a man's device. Verse 30. In the times of this ignorance, God winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent, because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, right? Wherefore he hath given insurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead. 32. And when they heard of this resurrection of the dead, some mocked and said, some mocked. So basically, my question is this: what were the bounds of being habitation according to this? So it says,
after you answer this, I just want to ask a question.
Who is the people here? It says all nations, right?
Tazaryach, after you answer this, I want to ask a question regarding this verse. But go ahead.
Okay, which verse was you? Which, because you read a lot of verses. So which one was you talking about?
He started at 26.
Dealing with the dealing with the habitation.
That's verse. Is that verse 26? Yes. When it says, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord. What listen. Let me tell you how you resolve this. At the end of verse 28 and the beginning of verse 29, we agree that it says, for we are also his offspring, for then as much as we are the offspring of God, right? Right? So how you resolve that is by establishing who is the offspring of God. And if we can establish who the offspring of God, we can then establish who it's talking about. We would agree, right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate the data.
So are the children of the promise the offspring of God, or the children of the flesh the offspring of God?
Children of the promise.
So is
come to me, right?
Wait. So wait. So are the children of the promise Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob?
Yeah.
Are the children of the flesh and everybody outside of that?
Yeah, the children of the flesh will be non-believers. So
right. No. Nope. You can't do that.
I'm about to answer your question. That's what I'm doing.
You can't do that though. You just wait. Hold on. Wait. Shabar.
Talk over me. I'm about to answer your
question. I'm not talking over you. But when you said,
for an example, so
like
for
you
an
said,
example, when we deal with Romans 9th chapter,
wait,
Paul is explaining not all. Hold on, I don't know why you keep talking. You asked me a question.
Because your answer to the question.
Come on, man.
Shabar, go ahead and get your response in, and then we're gonna get another caller. We got some others on Clubhouse stage as well. They're trying to get in.
All right, Kai. So like we see in Romans the 9th chapter, Paul is saying not all are of Israel, right? That are of Israel. Why? Because they're not believing in the promise. They're not called to that promise, man. It's really simple. The Lord has mercy on who he has mercy on. We can see a numerous amount of scriptures where we can see that same promise is regarding the Gentiles as well by faith in Abraham. That's clear. All the Galatians showing.
So the problem with what you're saying, the Romans the 9th chapter says the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Those that are not the children of the promise are not the sons of God, aka not the offspring of God. It's just that simple. So when it says they that are not all Israel, which are of Israel, that ain't talking about Israelites. That's talking about when you trying to make the Jewish man an Israelite. Like y'all try to have that spiritual Israelite. Because I was an Israelite that did not believe the way the scripture said. But then when I came into the fold, I can come into the fold because I am an Israelite. An Edomite can believe like I believe, but he can never be a children of the promise. An Ishmaelite can believe like, as a matter of fact, Romans, the 9th chapter, ain't even talking about Moabites or Ammonites or Hamites. It's only talking about Abraham's other 7 sons. That's how racist that chapter is. When it says the children of the promise accounted for the seed, not the children of the flesh, Paul ain't even concerned with anybody else except the 8 sons Abraham had. The son with Isaac is the only one that's counted for the promise. He's not even concerned about Moabites, Ammonites, Philistines. He don't even care about them. That's how cold that is.
Hey, I
Yeah, so
appreciate that, man. Thank
Hey,
you.
Shabar, I appreciate you apologizing. But listen, get yourself under control, man. You did a good job. You did a good job. Yeah, get yourself under control.
It's like how my spirit be. Trust me, I don't hate you or nothing like that. I just really be passionate and stuff. But I definitely appreciate the engagements and you giving this breakdown and stuff. You know, I definitely appreciate it, man. I appreciate the amount of time you have put in the community and things of that nature. So appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Appreciate you calling.
But I'm go ahead. Hey, you gotta cut him off?
No, he should have.
Okay. All right. Acts 17. As far as Acts 17:26, everybody usually goes to this. And this is if you know Shabar, you understand what he's saying now, all praise to the Most High. But if anybody else may go to this, Acts 17:26, and I seen a brother comment on it earlier, is literally referencing what was already told to us in old times. Acts 17, and have made one blood for all nations for men to dwell in, from Deuteronomy 32:8. And it says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So it's all going into what he's doing for his people. When you go back to 17:27, that they should seek the Lord, if happily they might feel after him. So at the end of the day, when you keep reading on, the subject matter, the topic that starts at Deuteronomy 32 is talking about the children of Israel. So how anybody squeezes anybody else that's not of our people into it, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, I do know, because that's what people hope to do. It's like hoping the neighborhood slut that you've been sleeping with really just wants you and you want to make her your girlfriend. And you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. You're like, oh no, she's good. She really isn't like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. You just got to rationalize, not you, but that's what people do.
I don't know why you want to cancel me.
Rick, my bad. Y'all got something. Y'all got to continue with my bad.
Shabbat, go ahead.
I hear
I'll
you.
let you get a quick
go ahead. That's a question.
You got 60 seconds. You got it.
John, so would you say though that's showing exclusion there in reference, like based upon what you just said and what we seeing in the 17th chapter, all men from Adam. So he said from all men he set the bounds of the habitations of the people. You don't see that correlation there?
No, it's like 2nd Ezra 6 when he says all people came from Adam, and then he just started dividing the people. All right, the sons of God is his lineage. That's really pretty much what he's saying.
Okay. Hey, again, appreciate the data, y'all. Thank y'all. I wouldn't, iron sharp as iron. So I'm gonna take this, go look at it, go through the notes, what have you. That's why I came up here and asked questions. Appreciate you.
All right, we appreciate you calling. Shalom. All right. Kat, what so you got? Well, before we take the next one, I know we got one person on the clubhouse side. Right, we got one person over there. Why my language has got to be little? Why got to be little? Kat? Why I want to know? Why got to be little? All right, let me get it out here. Now, we had the brother Zion Lex on here. The brother did a powerful breakdown. I know people are like, oh, why are you still talking about the language? Because I did want to get your feedback on, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but I want to get your feedback on what you thought about it. Do you think he was just throwing some random stuff out there, or is it something to what he's actually saying?
I think it's a stupid argument. There's some things that don't require a debate, right? So I didn't see the whole thing. I saw some of the initial presentation, and then I watched some of him and Ariala going back and forth. And I thought both of them was a total waste of time, personally. And I think people misunderstand when we talk about the Lashawan Quadash. And so what I did was, right, because I knew we was doing this interview, and I said, well, let me ask Chat GPT. I pay for Chat GPT. I pay for it. And so what I typed in the chat GPT, I said, this is what I typed verbatim. I said, did original Hebrew have vowels? And what I'm hoping it's going to tell me is that original Hebrew had vowels. Because if original Hebrew had vowels, then Lashawan Quadash definitely got to go in the trash. Because Ariel and all of these niggas, we just some dumbass niggas that don't know what we talking about saying that ancient Hebrew had no vowels. And this is what I'm going to read verbatim what Chat GPT said. Now, Ariel don't own, Ariel dead. Yeshaya is still alive. Yaquab passed away. Lahab still alive. Kazak, Shar, and Lahab, I believe. If I mess the names up, I usually say them in order so I don't miss no name. But so this is no disrespect to them. But if Chat GPT and we could see online that ancient, like there's books that I've read that said ancient Hebrew had no vowels. But since everybody trusts in Chat GPT, I'm gonna just read to you verbatim what it says. It says short answer, yes and no. It depends on the time period. That's the first thing it says. It says ancient / original Hebrew biblical period. Original Hebrew was written without vowels. Early Hebrew writing, like other ancient Semitic languages, used only consonants. Readers were expected to know the language well enough to supply the correct vowels from context. This system is called abjad, a consonant-based writing system. Example, and they use what I think the Malak term. They use that same thing. And so Malak could be read as Malek, Malak, Molek. Context tells you which one is correct. Over time, it says Hebrew began using certain consonants as vowel indicators. Aleph, Hey, Vav, Yod. These are called matres lectionis, if I'm saying that word right. It translates to mothers of reading. They hinted at vowels, but still did not fully use them. So when it comes to Lashawan Quadash, I don't know why these dumbass niggas is mad because we choose to use the ancient form of Hebrew because they use the modern Hebrew. It's a stupid argument. If we're able to take the ancient Hebrew and correlate that and use it in 2025, why is that a problem? Why is that a debate? If the person that wants to use modern Hebrew with vowels and dots and whatever they want to use, that's not a problem for us. We don't care. It becomes one of those stupid ass, I want to seem like I'm smart, but I'm just a dumbass nigga just trying to be smart and appear smart. That's how I looked at it. That's a dumbass nigga. That's how I looked at it.
Oh, man. Now, I'm going to have to highly disagree. I'm going to tell you why. I'm about to highly disagree with you. I got to tell you why. All right, so first and foremost, the brother that not, and this one, I want to say this, I want to get to this because I want to say this to everybody, right? That brother did not ask to come on to have that conversation. I invited him because I had questions about it. That's where it came from. That was my question, right? Now, it wasn't a debate. I wish y'all stop calling it a debate. It was a conversation. Inside the Nation Radio, don't do no more debates. Matter of fact, we talked about this in the beginning. The last debate we did, Cap, was whose? It was yours.
Correct. That's
we
correct.
haven't did a debate since. As a matter of fact, before that debate, I had stopped doing debates. I just went ahead and did that debate, right? We don't do debates anymore. That was a conversation. And that was me asking the brother to go out and say, hey, I got questions. I want you to come in and have this show with me. So he didn't come on and say, hey, I'm trying to be smarter than everybody else and nothing like that. He did that as a favor to me. I got to say that. Now, this is why I highly disagree with you on. To say nobody cares if you use the biblical Hebrew is far-fetched because you hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Oh, that's a Yiddish. That's a Yiddish. You can't use it. And brothers do get twisted and offended. You might not. You might, do your thing. But other brothers will say something off the wall and say you don't really know what you're talking about, and they call it Yiddish. Like, we've all heard it now.
My point is that, well, first of all, even you was making your little jokes when somebody said, how about Shimei Shabrak? Yeah, you can't speak that no more. You can't speak that no more. And then I'm watching like social media, and social media is going crazy over it. And so when I'm saying that, like how you said, you might not be bothered by it. You're correct. I'm not bothered by it. When someone says shalawam to me, I'm not bothered by it. But you got some people that are bothered by it. I'm trying to free people's mind and to teach Israel something. Israel needs to learn a lesson in this. Israel needs to learn that everything doesn't have to be argued. It doesn't. Everything doesn't have to be debated. If Lil P comes on that's Zion Lex, my bad. If Lil P, Zion Lex come on your platform and teach that the Hebrew had vowels and does their presentation, I don't even think that should be combated. Should have been no reason for Ariala to come and do whatever it is that he did. Both can exist.
That's what happened, though. All he did was, come as a favor, and then that was, hey, listen, the next day on Facebook, all the mighty.
That's your fault, though. Crazy. That's your fault, though, about it. Because you made a post like, after this debate, after this presentation, we can't use a lot. You made some posts like that, Abaya. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
What I did. What I did was
started trouble
to the mighty. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I got to. We got Facebook keep receipts, right?
Facts.
I simply said it was a powerful show. You can go look at the Facebook.
Right.
All right. Now, after the mighty man woke up, and I'm like, man, where were y'all when it was time to have the conversation? Because the brother asked.
Okay, right. Okay, you're right. But I did see that video because you did that.
Say that again. Say what you just said.
I said you're right because you did that as a video, right? But I think what I'm talking about. I think you made a post about like we got to get.
You made a post like it's dead. You said
yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
After the fact, I'm not saying I didn't say that. I did respond and say that. That was after the fact, though. I give you that. I said it. But here's the point I was making, right? So I had some questions about the language, and I asked the brother to come on. The brother came on. He did I think an awesome, powerful presentation, and then boom, everybody woke up. Right? Everybody woke up. Hold on. Eliel said, "Don't lie." Hey, you made a post that said Lashawan Kodesh is dead. I said that. I ain't got to lie, bro. Listen. I never said I didn't say it. I'm saying that after the fact, though. I ain't got to lie. I ain't worried about nobody knocking on my door. Believe me, I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. I made that after the fact. But the mighty men woke up after the fact. Eliel, if I didn't ask you, I know other brothers asked you to come have a conversation. I think it's a conversation. You said something that's powerful. What you said was this. You said everything does not have to be a debate, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it for a debate. I'm
not saying you. But like what we did in the Israelite community, we made it a debate. We made it a competition. We made it like you can't tell me I can't speak this. You can't there's some things as a man you just got to be comfortable in. Like ain't nobody gonna tell me you can't speak that Lashawan Kodash. And I'm like, oh, word? I ain't going to speak it no more. Then I'm going to be however you say my name in modern Hebrew or however you say the Most High name. I'm not doing that. It's pointless. Like we have bigger with the way that 2025 is running with Trump and this society and this system and stuff like that. There's better fights to have. And this goes back to what I said in the beginning of this conversation, why I don't debate Israelites, because Israelites is a small world. I hate to hurt your feelings. I hate to tell you the truth, but the Israelite world is a small world. I did not build my reputation by staying in the Israelite world. I built my reputation by going into the entire world and going into different spaces, battling on different platforms to where I could be recognized everywhere, not because I'm special. I need everybody to understand that I do not think I'm special. I'm only special because of the Most High. That's it. And I'm afraid of him. That's why you ain't never seen me say no wild, outlandish, crazy things against this truth, against the Most High, and you never will, because I fear the Most High. But he has, look, what it say? Yeah, put it on the screen. Read it. Read it. Go ahead, read it. Go ahead, read it.
Right here.
I can't.
Screen is knocking it off.
Yeah. What it say?
I think we literally witnessed the death of Lashawan Kodash.
That is, wow. And now once you made that post, that's the post you made. Yeah,
listen. So listen. Even with, I'm stand 10 toes down on it.
I bet you is.
None of the mighty men showed up. Everybody showed up later on Facebook. Okay, now I got another post I was referring to, which I was thinking about. So you're right. I made that one, right? The other one I made, the longer post about the mighty men showing up, was after the fact. But I want to correct something because there were people who you said that made the mighty man come out. Man, ain't no mighty man come out. Hey, shalom, Mark. Ain't nobody man come out. I ain't see nobody. Hey, what I'm gonna say is this though. I did reach out to the brother, say, hey, I want you to come out. It was me asking the question. So brother Stuart, he trying to be smarter than everybody. No, he wasn't. I just want to put that part out there. That brother did not do that. That brother came on the show as a favor for me, to help me understand some things and all the viewers as well. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I ain't gonna say he did it like that either. I just think that Israel has a problem. Like Israel, y'all got to get out of the weed cipher. What I mean by the weed cipher is if you want to affect change on what you believe, debating who you consider your peers is not the answer. It's just not. You're gonna have to find you.
Hey, I want to add this too. Slack. Oh, yeah. Listen. Now I did make that post in response to another post. So I want to be factual. I don't want to say the brother's name who I made the post to, but the brother, there was a couple of y'all. And I know you're watching right now. There's a couple of y'all who made their post about all somebody got to do is make a presentation, all Israel believe. They start saying, so brothers were offended simply by the conversation. So again, I respond, and then it goes to that point. I'm in agreement with you, Cap. When you say we don't have to turn everything into a debate, it wasn't supposed to be a debate. Even
right.
I'll land with this. Let me land with this. If you saw the show where Ariella actually came on, they had the conversation. Anybody who knows Ariella, Ariella's changed a lot of his stance, right? It's his how he addresses people. Like, you remember the old Clubhouse days? You remember Ariella's pop off? But it wasn't like that. It was a true, genuine conversation because it wasn't a debate. Two brothers who disagreed had a conversation, and you should have heard the brothers behind the scenes. It was nothing but love. I wish I should have did a behind the scenes recording. It wasn't them debating. It was everybody on Facebook that wanted to come and debate because nobody on hip-hop witness. I was debating.
Yeah, I think and I don't think it was nothing wrong. Like if you want to be the vowel Hebrew brother, I mean, go ahead and be that. I'm just not the
low-key hate, y'all. Everybody see that low-key.
No, I'm just saying if you want to be the vowel Hebrew brother, go be that. I'm gonna be the ancient Hebrew brother. And we both can exist, and it don't amount to nothing. I mean, I could never somebody tell me your name ain't Tazaryach. I don't know what they're gonna tell me my name is in modern Hebrew, but and if I could say this though, you're gonna hear Tazaryach's name for the rest of your life. I just want to point that out. For those that say they tired,
the gym, huh?
Yeah. For those that said they can't wait till they can't hear Tazaryach and Katazar no more, you'll hear it for the rest of your life. I'm sorry.
Who say that?
Lil P said that. Oh, you don't know who Lil P is? That's Zion Lex. That's a little polite.
Listen, I'm a subject.
The views and opinion of Captain Tazaryach are not those of Inside the Nation. Just to put that out. But you'll hear the name for the rest of your life, by the way. Tazaryach ain't going nowhere.
Oh, man.
Hey, I could go. I got a couple more minutes left if there's anything else you want to get out the way, Abaya, because I do got to roll in a little bit.
Yeah, I do got one more. Hey, listen, so 743 people watching, 198 likes. Smash the like.
That is diabolical. No, I see 190 on my page.
Mine might be 190 then.
Yeah, you might have to let me refresh it again. I'm gonna refresh it again. How do y'all 198? But like, how if it's 700 some odd people in here, you should at least have 546. Yeah, 700 some odd people. Yeah, that's what I said. Like it's 740. I see 7. Yeah, I see 746.
Only 200 likes though.
That's what I was about to say. How is there not at least 500 likes, man? Show this brother some love, man.
Man, is my sound effects not working? Because I've been trying
Look,
to.
we discussing something like we don't know that Negroes don't know that it does help the channel, that it will help spread the truth. Because people don't really give a damn about that. It don't really matter. They just
listen.
don't
I was doing a
support
live.
somebody else.
I'm gonna tell you, I was doing a live stream. Let me make sure I'm unmuted. I was doing a live stream earlier, battling the Saint or Sinner. I had 1,200 people watching, a whole lot of likes because it's an argument. That's the other thing. That's why like groups be wanting to do debates, because when they teaching, it's like 50 people watching. When you debating, it's like 500 people watching. And so because you want to get the people watching, you rather do the debates than the teaching. I would rather do the teaching. And if it's only 50 people watching, maybe that's all the Lord wants you to have. Maybe that's all you need. I think we gotta like Israel needs a reestablishment. Israel needs a reestablishment and a reorder. What we've learned in Esau's year is that you cannot trust every Israelite because they know a book, chapter, verse. You cannot. What we learned is that y'all mad at ISUBK for saying we home of the truth, but y'all did not listen to Priest Daniel Allah, who loves all of y'all. I'm gonna say this with 100% certainty. I love Priest Daniel Allah more than y'all, because there's never anything that he's told me that I haven't done. There's never anything that I've told him that he hasn't done. But when y'all have not listened to Priest Daniel Allah and the counsel that he's given to you, you have hated him. And that's why your group ain't shit. That's why your group falls. That's why your group has splits. That's why you can't get along. That's why you don't have no respect, because you don't even respect who you call an elder. And I feel bad that Daniel Allah has to go through that. I tell him this all the time. And I told him I was going to say this tonight, because there should be some respect on Priest Daniel Allah's name. And he's such a good he's such a good brother that I don't even understand how, when he counsels y'all, that y'all don't listen to his counsel. I don't understand it. And then you'll say, you don't want to rock with us because we too hard, and this brother comes with love and you don't listen to him. So what you have to analyze within yourself, maybe the problem is me. Israel has a problem. None of y'all are teachers. Nobody authorized you. Nobody told you to go out there and do it. The mistakes that you're making shows it. Y'all better get it together, because the Lord is doing the checks and balances. He's got rid of all these groups right now. You got Sakari niggas done. There's about 15 to 20 different Sakari groups rolled up after they found out what Gorilla does in the night, in the daytime. You know how many groups that came out? When my brother in the school, I told the brother in my school that was battling in that camp, that was a former Sakari group, I said, I wouldn't even battle them about nothing except how you didn't know. That's all I would have battled them on. How you didn't know.
So listen.
Hey, hold on. No. Pause. Hey, Abai, you got to put that comment up. Put that comment up that Bishop Melchizedek just said.
Fast.
Put that. Ooh. Bishop Melchizedek. Read that comment.
What did he say? I can't see. It went up.
He called him Glorilla.
Nah, I ain't putting that on the screen. I'm not putting that on the screen. No.
Look, I've been talking about Gorilla Hebrew like to no end all year. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw when he was on No Jumper and Whack happened to be on there and that went up. But I did tell him I wouldn't talk about him as bad anymore, because I think I've done my job. I think I've made it abundantly clear the position that we should take with him. Nobody wanted to listen to me when I spoke about Genesis last year. Y'all will see. Now, I don't care if you listen to Genesis or not. I really don't. Just don't ask me to listen to them. That's my position on Genesis. Y'all can go listen to them niggas, and when they break your heart, don't come back to me talk about Cap, you was right, nigga. I told you. I'll give an example. I remember this brother came in. I was in the airport one time. This married couple come up to me. They like, oh, Cap, we love the work you do. They was like, you know, Polite got us for like $100 some odd. I said, you still give money Polite after we talked about Polite? So I can't feel sorry for that. So if y'all get duped by these groups, I can't feel sorry for you when you got people warning you about these groups. GMS, another one. I can't. If I could, just one more.
Just because of the. Well, nah, I want to go in there. We got one more person on stage. That got
Oh, okay, good. What's the person got? What the person
got? Who we had? Dom over there, one of the mods.
Yes, sir.
You can hear him. Go ahead, Dom. Nah, but you got to change the iPhone.
He's a transformer.
Yeah, more than meets the eye.
Yeah. Hey, Soundwave, you got to come back in. You got to come back in, Soundwave.
Hey, I bet his phone working the whole time until it's time to unmute. All of a sudden, it went out.
I mean, I have all my signals.
We can hear you
now you can. Now you good.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're clear now.
Hello? Okay. Shalom, Cat. So this is Brother Mal Halab, you probably know me as. I do want to start off by saying I appreciate what you said in particular about Priest Danyala, right? Priest Danyala is my elder, and he is the elder of a community that I started recently. He was the elder of my former camp that I was in. And I 100% agree with everything you said as far as brothers not taking his counsel. That's something that he's spoken to me about. But if you ask him, he will tell you that I am the lone person that has, right? He will tell you that if you ask him. But I do 100% agree, and I've seen it myself. And I want to add a little bit more context. The reason why brothers pick Danyala to Priest Danyala to be their elder is because they know what kind of person he is. They play on the fact that he is so loving and he wants everybody to thrive and do their own thing. So they know he's not going to actually come down on them. They know that he's not the rebuke you kind of elder. That's not his spirit. That's not his mentality. But he will give you excellent wisdom that comes across as rebuke. And it comes across as rebuke because the wisdom is counter to what they want to do. That's why they reject it. They reject it because they didn't pick him to rebuke them. They didn't pick him to give them counsel on things that they don't want to do or that they do want to do, and he's saying don't do. That's not why they picked Danyala. They picked him for the reason that you said. So I do want to just kind of give a little bit more understanding as to why that is. Now, with that being said, I do agree with about 80% of everything that I heard, and I'm going to get to my questions. I just have about 2 questions. Okay, so I do want to commend you for clarifying that whole truth thing and being in the truth and not being in the truth and making the kingdom, because that's something that I never really quite understood as you guys' position. So saying what you said, do you have to be in the truth to make it to the kingdom?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I think in the scripture, I think there's a scripture that does say something about receiving a prophet's reward. Let's see if I can find it. That's the first thing that popped in my head about getting into the truth. See if I can find it. So I think there is a scripture. It says this might be the one. Luke 6:23 might be what I'm thinking about. Let me just read that real fast. This is Luke 6:23. It says, "Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets." So maybe a prophet's reward, maybe doing something for the prophets, you might get in there. So I don't want to, I'm not saying that with 100% certainty, but that could be another way to get into the kingdom. But I think you do have to be in the truth to get in the kingdom. Yes.
Okay. And so you got to get an ISUPK then. I'll just go to my next question.
That's what I'm always saying.
With that being said,
wait. Hold on. Let me add on to that. The reason why I'll say that is because, and this goes back to why we take that stance, is that if we look at this past year, groups that y'all would have said were in the truth, we find out that's not the case. So that goes back to why we say that. When I say in ISUBK, I can trust that. I can trust that that's a place where if there's issues, whatever the problem and stuff may be, it can get worked out. I don't know if I could trust that everywhere else. If you just take with the Sakari, for example, the way that they talk about what they knew about each other and hid about each other, how could we say that that's the truth? You got one cat saying he got $10,000. This dude like to take it up the butt too. Now, if you know that, but now I'm not even talking about whether it's true or false, but the fact that you can make that accusation, I can't put a stamp of approval on somebody else. Just take this past year, that one group that everybody would have thought was in the truth too, and ISUPK is wrong for saying that, you would say, damn, I guess they ain't in the truth. So that's why we make the statement. It's a trust thing.
Yeah. I always knew him, but
no, I understand that. It's just once once I ask you a question like that, then it just kind of seems to conflict on its face. But I do.
No, because the prophet they helping would be an ISUPK. That's what I would say. That's
right. You good. So that means ain't no prophets outside of UPK then either. But that's a whole nother.
I'm not stamping them. You listen. You could think you're a prophet outside of ISUPK. Just don't ask me to stamp them. Like I said, the only Priest Daniela, I've told him this since 2014. I've never said this publicly. Since 2014, I've told him this. Whenever I'm making those statements, I'm never talking about him. So, but I can't stamp nobody else.
Yeah, hey, and I kind of feel it because, hey, I'm like, the Church of Louisville, you better, the way we teach, the way we understand, the way we follow, that's what's true. So I don't know. I understand.
Thank you, brother. You had a second question too, right? Mao.
I just hope that.
Okay. Your services are terrible.
Gotta get out that T-Mobile. Y'all got T-Mobile too? Y'all got South T-Mobile.
All right, what about now?
There you go.
Yeah, you good now.
I do got T-Mobile. That is what it is. I got T-Mobile. Okay, my bad. But no, I just was hoping out of that, a little bit of pressure I was applying, that you could at least understand why somebody would, if they just heard that black face, they would be offended.
I do.
Yeah, so
no, I totally. Okay, I do and I don't. Hey, Mal, I do and I don't understand. I understand why you would be offended. The reason why I don't understand why you would be offended is because I would never be offended if you said that to me. But I do understand. So I understand and don't understand at the same time.
Right. The reason why you should just understand is because what they're hearing is you're not going to make the kingdom. That's what they're hearing. They're hearing if you don't come under General Yohana, you can't make the kingdom. So they're hearing you might as well be the two-thirds. Even though you're not saying it, that's what you can only deduce. With that being said, I just got one more question.
Okay.
That's three. Hey, that public education, but you said that's three.
Yeah, that was kind of sick.
I only asked one. Actually, I asked to follow.
Hey, hey, brother, if I may, before you go on, I was going to just real quick. I know you said something about why you would be offended, why you wouldn't. It's understood, but that's understood in the sense that if somebody said you like to have your wife play with, toys with you and use them on you, you wouldn't get offended because you know it ain't true. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel like it's true, then you might kind of feel a little way. But go ahead.
That's a wild analogy, Salaka.
I was like,
yeah, mile.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that one, brother.
That's a wild analogy.
Right? It's the truth. Yeah, sometimes, whether you like it or not, it's true.
I don't find no truth in that one, but.
How you not find the truth? Hey, same thing for Abaya and Tazaryach. If they got offended, what you mean? I like these toys. Hey. All right, I guess
that's crazy work right there.
I mean, I'm not even dipping in nobody's bedroom, brother. What you doing?
Yeah,
bedroom. I don't care where it's bedroom. Outside. What you mean? It's all the same. It's all sweet stuff.
Yeah, I think that's like a false equivalency. But can I get one more question in? I know you're trying to go.
Not a false equivalency. Hold on. I ain't even about to go off that. Hey, all three of y'all wrong if y'all think it's false equivalency. It's the same shit. What you said? Nah, it's the same thing.
Hey, why myself?
All right, you got it, Rick. Good. Nice.
Yeah, come on with your last question so I can roll. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it. put together a class too. Okay, so now just to go back to the part of the conversation that you guys were having in reference to the elders and the Cornelius and whether or not the doctrine changed over time, and you guys holding the position that one was till ISUPK has not changed. You guys were talking about Cornelius and salvation and all of that kind of stuff, right? And you said that you wouldn't consider, you basically, well, I'll roughly paraphrase and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you said in a nutshell that you don't consider it a change because they were still kind of in their, if they're still learning the truth, they didn't learn it in one day. So I'm just roughly paraphrasing what I understood. Like, you don't count them being in their learning curve and actually establishing the doctrine as, a period where it could be considered change. Is that correct? That's not my main question, but I just want to make sure that I represented your thought correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, I look at that as them because their doctrine is that only Israel could be saved. So saying Cornelius is an Israelite is not a change of the doctrine of only Israel can be saved.
Okay. Gotcha. So what would you? So my actual question is, and this is not even a gotcha or trick question. It's just, what would you consider a doctrinal change to be from once, say, a group forms, right? I know you guys. I know you don't feel like any other group should be forming, but say another group forms, right? And they're in their quote unquote learning phase in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
What would you consider a change in doctrine from an organization or a camp or a group to be? What would you consider a change? Like, what time period would mark where it's like, okay, you guys now changed? Like, what does that
You talk about like an Israelite group?
So I can understand when you say you didn't change, but others did.
Are you talking about from like an Israelite group?
Yeah, I'm talking about from like an Israelite group. So, like, for example, when we talk about salvation and who it's for, whether it's for Israel or, whether it's for all nations, which I have a totally different understanding than everybody, but just using that example, a group starts off teaching only Israel, and then they start teaching, after they've done their research, their homework, or whatever the case may be, then they start teaching the Gentiles, right? You're saying that that's a change. You talked about Genesis changing to that. So I'm saying, what is considered? What do you consider? If you don't consider, I'll put it like this, so it might be a bit easier.
I think
question.
I get you. Let me see if I got it.
consider-
I think with Cornelius, I don't look at that as a change, but I look at you saying salvation is for everybody is a change. And what's the difference? The difference is that Cornelius is an occurrence. The Cornelius is like a conversation that Peter has with a man. And if your doctrine is that salvation is only for Israel and you just don't have the understanding of that breakdown, that's not a change. But because your foundation is salvation is only for Israel. But when you change your stance of salvation is for everybody, now that has nothing to do with Cornelius at all. That has to do with the promises. That has to do with the kingdom of heaven. That has to deal with all of that. Now we're not talking about Cornelius anymore. We talk about your core foundation. Your foundation has now changed. So now the Edomites can get saved, the Moabites can get saved, the Ammonites can get saved. That's different. That's not a Cornelius event. That's a all nations event. So that's different to me. That's you changing your core at that point. Like earlier, for example, when we was talking about the Hebrew, for example, Hebrew, if I was to switch from ancient Hebrew to modern Hebrew, I'm not changing my foundation. That's just language. It's not changing the foundation. But if you go from like Immaculate Conception to Joseph, if you go from Joseph is the father to Immaculate Conception, that's changing your foundation. So that's how I compartmentalize it, if that's a better understanding for you.
Okay, I appreciate that. I understand you. I appreciate your time and everything that you do for the people. I definitely got a new perspective of you this evening. So, all praises for that. Answers, my
all
questions.
praises. ISUBK, we do say that too. We do say all praises. But our go-to term is Most High in Christ. That's a UPK term, but we do say all praises too. Shout out to Humble Lily.
Well, I will say Most High in Christ Kingdom.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
What type of Hebrew you use when you say it, though, Cap?
All praises.
Don't
Oh, okay.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I can I go now? Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It'd be great. I gave you more time. I gave you more time. Mm-hmm.
Hey man, let me let you get out of here, man. Hey, listen, last thing before you go. Okay. Tell God Logic we need him to get on here so we can beat him up.
I'll tell God what I'm gonna try. What I'm actually gonna try to do for God Logic is bring him like on a platform like this. I'll tell him, and I want to get him on that Matan platform. See how he does on there. Like God Logic is a cool cat. Like when you and a lot of these cats
cool.
Yeah, he's a cool cat, and I want to give him props because I didn't think he would. I didn't think he was going to bring me to his home. I thought we was going to do it like at my school in Vegas, and what we ended up doing, he said, "No, come over to the crib." And his wife has a sense of humor, so when I go into their house, when I go into his house, his wife is there, and I thank his wife. I said, "I really appreciate you letting me come into your home." She said, "Oh no, Cat, we love you. It's cool." And when she comes down the stairs, she looks at this thing. She said, "What do you think about this Christmas tree?" So she has a Christmas tree in there. And this is what I said to her. I said, "I wish I had an axe to cut this tree down." That's what I said. And I did the whole gesture and everything with the axe symbol. And so we laughed and chopped it up. And Logic was a cool cat. I don't think he know the Bible like that. At Melchizedek, he wasn't ready for that. But I do think it's good if we could bring him over to Inside the Nation, do an interview. I'll see if he's willing to do it. I will reach out to him for you.
Yeah, that's what's up. I appreciate it. Don't tell me we're gonna beat him up. It was a joke. You know how we let
I ain't gonna say that. I know how to get him on the live. Yeah, I know how to get him on the live.
Hey, well, listen, Cap, man, we definitely appreciate you sliding through. Rick, you got anything before we get out of here?
Shit, everybody have a happy Sabbath tomorrow. Enjoy your time.
Definitely. Will do. Definitely. And I appreciate y'all having me on. Salute to y'all. Before I go in the shout of Lashawan Kwadash, Yahweh Bashim Al Shah Brakathum, Yahweh Shema Thum Bashim Al Shah. What I said in the English.
I know how to return that back in biblical Hebrew. I will see that I took it to you.
What I said in the English was, the Lord in the name of Jesus bless you to the brothers. The Lord watch over you in the name of Jesus to the sisters. That's what I said. Right, shout out to the Lashawan. Appreciate it. All right, no sweat. Shalom, brother. Shalom.
Oh man, hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Man, awesome show, man. Still got like 700 people watching with 250 likes.
That's what's up. No, them likes is crazy. Them likes is crazy not to have them likes on there still. That is diabolical. But you should start doing that poll though. You should start doing the poll because that'll probably get them.
He will block for you. They don't pass the ball. They don't do nothing. They don't want nobody else to score but them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's crazy. Yeah. But I will see y'all later, man. I got some more work to do, man. So I'll holler at y'all later.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom. Hey, shalom. All right, peace. All right. All right. Let me come over here. Put myself on the screen. Hey, 2 quick updates before I go. I already gave y'all the salute, so Bezos can't say nothing to me. The 2 debates about to be broadcast tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. The debate with Jake Shields versus the Jewish cat. And then Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Captain Kadazai and myself debate against the Jewish guys will be premiere. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I gave y'all 2 debates. I don't care if you say, "Oh my God, Bezos," don't nobody care. I gave y'all 2 debates. Excuse me. I gave y'all a debate and a live. I didn't do no Car Chronicles because I got some work going. Hey, before I go, let me read this off before I go. Hold on. Before I go, I got to read something out. Where's Itazab text message? This is a new premium. Y'all see this shirt? Ain't no quarter zip nigga. I had to wear it twice. It's a new quality premium shirt. It actually feels good on my skin. Heavy, oversized print, built different, built better, built for One West. Website is coming soon. I didn't deserve that stray. You almost made me say something, but I'm gonna be nice. You want to hit up Itazab on Facebook if you want to get this shirt. If you ain't no quarter zip nigga like me, I'm a real nigga university. Shout out to Itazab. I'll see y'all. I probably ain't doing another live stream till Monday, but who knows? Somebody might hit me up and I do another live stream. So until next time, Shalom Israel.